Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very good Thursday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. 3 more wins left. 3 more. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, YouTube, Trev, Benny the intern with you here on the Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage, right here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. Thank you to everyone for listening live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, on Apple Music. Thank you to those watching live on YouTube, or to those listening to this on podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to us. If you're on TuneIn, there's a thumbs up button. Hit that one if you're on TuneIn. And if you're on podcast, just download and subscribe to all of our wonderful shows right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Boys, how you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm looking at him and he's just smiling. I'm like, is he going to say something or is he just happy?
No, I'm happy. I'm just looking at Benny. I'm just smiling. He's making faces at me. That's why.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
You
Don't
guys
blame
are
Benny.
What?
couple
He was
little
making-
I didn't do
weirdos.
that at all. What?
Yes,
What are you talking about?
that's suspicious. Yes. How's it going, boys? I'm great.
Very
good.
good.
Yeah, vibes are high. I'm feeling very good today.
Very good. What a lovely day around this city, and the fans of the team were rewarded. We're talking about the Elks with the jersey sneak peek. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, I see what
5
you did
o'clock
there.
tonight, midway.
Oh,
think
the
if you go to
jersey
the website.
reveal. Yeah.
Have you guys seen it?
No.
Yes.
Do you like it?
I really like it. It's fixing the wrong in the old uniform, or the last one that they use. I think people will see it and be like, well, there's not a lot of change. But then you notice the detail and you'll be like, they did the right thing. That's how I would describe it. You're going to see that jersey in a store. You'll be like, that is the Eskimos. That is the Elks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember last year, the biggest thing that Dusty would say was the numbers. It was hard to see. The names were hard to
Yeah.
read, with just like the yellow stroke that they had on the numbers and names. So, yeah, that's good. Hopefully they fix that.
I
Time will
think
tell.
you're going to be
Dun-dun-dun.
happy if this is something you're looking to.
Okay, nice.
Anyway.
Cool.
It is also apparently Nintendo Switch 2 release day. Because Real
getting
Star
hyped.
says, happy Switch 2 release day. Anyone getting one? I'm certainly not.
It's like
Switch release day.
it's a little. I remember my brother saying it's like $2,000, or
What?
it's like $1,000. Like the price, people were, oh man, maybe I'm off there. But I remember the consensus was it was way too expensive compared to like Switch 1.
What is
when it was
its
released?
like computing power and capabilities? Like,
Yeah,
what
like
would it be
I
the
remember I
equivalent
watched like
to?
the reveal and it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything game breaking. I found. I know they did little touches to the controller. They switched it up a little bit.
Okay.
Obviously with the graphics are going to look a little bit better. But yeah, what are the prices for this?
$630.
Okay,
Oh.
well that wasn't. I was off.
Nintendo Switch 2 console,
that?
$630.
That's it.
Or
1,000?
$950 there.
that's on eBay. So yeah, like the
was
Mario
wrong.
Kart World Bundle is $700 on BestBuy.ca.
Wow.
But it's coming
that was
soon and all of
best.
that.
Good one. Love Mario Kart, but I haven't played the newer Mario Kart. So I was watching the newest Mario Kart, a video on YouTube. And there's like jumping from rails to rails and all these different things and new characters I've never seen before. And I'm like,
It's pretty cool. It's
what is this?
you can free roam in it. It's like kind of
Really?
like GTA, you know, like you can go do your own thing. Yeah, like you can go in a car and then just travel wherever you want.
I
Kind
used
of
to
like
do that
Forza
in-
Horizon,
I
I
used to do
guess.
that with Mario Kart 64. I'd always go to Princess's Castle.
you could do that?
Of course,
You could
would.
drive to the front of the castle. That was as far as you could go.
king
You
of the
could get off
castle.
just a little bit and go like to the front of the castle. There's nothing you could do there.
And you would be losing the race then.
Yeah.
I do remember battle mode on Super Nintendo for the original Super Mario Kart. That was fun. And like if you had a little brother or 2 little brothers, like someone did, you'd go, hey, let's play battle mode. And then you just absolutely wipe the floor with
battle
them
mode.
and they would cry.
Ah,
It would be a good day. That's very cruel of me, but I did it.
Matt Williams says games are $110.
jeez.
For Super Nintendo Switch 2?
Apparently.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay.
Not Super
No,
Nintendo. Has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah, and they got just one last thing. They got, when you go into the little cubes with the question marks, I don't even know what the name is for those.
Power-ups?
Power-ups. There it is. That it is. Yep. They got new ones now, which I forget what they are, but Benny, if you have time, maybe look them up. But yeah, I remember I was like, every single one that I saw, I was like, I like this. This is great. It's new. I like this. It's a good addition. So they're new power-ups. So you can look forward to that.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is $100. Mario Kart World Switch 2, which is just the game, is $110. That's ridiculous.
It is.
But video games have generally been pricey, even to like the old Nintendo days.
I used to buy Maddens for probably 70, 75 bucks.
Yeah,
But that's like 2,000.
And
so
I feel
guess,
like
they haven't gone up too much.
even in the
time.
early '90s, there was this store called Consumers Distributors.
Jama would know well about that
Yeah,
one. Him and
and-
Ty used to talk about that a bit on 1260.
Because they'd have the magazine, then you go, I would like item number whatever, and then they would go to the back and bring it out for you. And I remember getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3,
Nice.
the Manhattan Project for Nintendo, and my mom's like, "This is $60."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love this game, Mom. And we played the heck out of that game for years and years. So she got the money's worth out of it. But yeah, cartridges and DVDs, Blu-rays, the games, digital copies are
It's all going up.
always they are expensive, and they always have been expensive. We're like deluxe edition of Madden or NHL. It's like $125.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What are you getting? Bonus content
Yeah.
and
extras.
and a package of cards
Yeah.
inside the
I
box.
bought it every year.
There you go. Well, you became very prolific at it, though.
Yeah.
Yes, you
It
did.
worked out,
Yeah.
and then they paid you to play it.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
That's the dream
That's how
right
that
there.
works. Maybe I don't know. The packs that you got with it though, they were like mandatory. Any like top guy, if you want to get your team a good head start, you bought the deluxe edition. So
On hot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it was like anyone that was on the higher end levels buying the $120 version of it. So I got it for free near the end of playing NHL, so it wasn't that bad.
Yes.
But
And we gave away a couple copies on Hello Hockey thanks
did.
to you. That
We
was
did.
great.
That was
Although I did see my buddy Tyson Owewe, who works over at EA, and we're chatting, and he goes, "If you need copies of games, let me know." And I was like, "Okay." I'm not going to get them for myself, but I think for future giveaways.
Nice. That's smart.
Yeah, he's a good dude, really good dude. I was going to say one more thing, but I completely forgot it.
While you think about that, go ahead.
Presentation. I'm seeing these videos that pop up of EA Sports NHL series. The presentation of these games is nowhere near as good as it used to be.
yeah,
And I don't understand that. They have the strongest video card. Like,
It should be.
yeah.
The graphics, it's more like it's the scenes. It's hard to explain. It's like they had more availability. They would show warm ups.
Yeah.
So and like when you do like be a pro, right?
Yeah.
In NHL 14, they would have you as a player like through his eyes taking warm up and stuff.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Now they they can compare NHL 14 to what they have now. The amount of stuff they've taken out that was like all the diehard fans loved.
Yeah.
They're not they can't replicate it on like the newer gen consoles. So that's
That's
what you're seeing,
mind-blowing,
That's
like-
what everyone's like losing their mind about.
I
It's
get.
like,
Okay, I understand because I see like the thumbnails with the why the old EA
It's
NHL
sad.
series had
Yeah.
better presentation.
It really is sad.
Yeah.
Kind of want to watch that.
You should, it should be advancing, you'd think,
Yeah.
but it's just
Yeah.
they're taking
took
steps back,
yeah,
not just
yeah.
a step.
I remember NHL 99, it'd be like, welcome to EA Sports NHL 99.
classic.
Tonight's game featuring the Edmonton Oilers at the Detroit Red Wings from Joe Louis Arena.
Yeah.
And then have like a flyby, digital flyby, and you're like, oh, this is
And the
gonna be
pre-games,
fun.
they'd have the green screen. This was like
Oh,
13
yeah,
to
Doc
15,
Emmerich
and Eddie Olczyk.
Yes.
And
Olczyk,
it was
oh.
awesome. And like for every game, it's like they'd have shots of like Edmonton, Calgary, like aerial shots, like
Yeah.
here we are. And it's like the voiceover sounds
Yeah.
great.
Those ones were.
And then you
I
go
remember
in,
those.
and then it made you feel like, I'm like, okay, it's Eddie Olczyk and Doc Emmerich.
Yeah.
They're about to call my game. This is great.
Yeah, they lost their realistic. They wanted to go more down like a cartoonish, or not cartoon, but more like unrealistic, like gimmicky presentation to appeal to kids. When like I think a lot of diehard hockey fans are just like, put Doc Emmerich on the call,
Yeah.
like, or whoever, like
Yeah,
make
he
it
was-
make
Doc
it
was
feel
awesome.
like a real NHL game, right?
I think I met him once.
Oh,
on the road.
Madden 26.
Jealous.
I saw yesterday. It's going to include halftime shows and weekly recaps with Scott Hansen, as well as all new custom broadcast packages for Sunday, Monday, and Thursday primetime games.
See, that's awesome.
So that's the change that they're making. I haven't
that's
played Madden
awesome.
in years.
I'd like that.
Anyway,
I used to play. I probably bought Madden probably from 2002 until like 2019. Didn't miss a year. I haven't played it since probably.
my brother got me 21. I played one season as the Cardinals, and I'm like, I can't. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm terrible. This sucks. This is too convoluted.
Always struggled with Madden.
But I had Madden 05, one with Ray Lewis on the cover. I would move my team to Edmonton. I'd rename them the Eskimos. I would do this and that. And yeah, now I can't do it. Anyway, we're going to get Greg.
Yeah, I used to always create the Edmonton Eskimos in those games. Or when I played college, I'd bring the University of Alberta Golden Bears.
Sign this.
Is he going green and gold hat?
Oh, yes.
Looking
Nice
good.
choice with the green and gold hat.
I need one. Like my only green hat's a New York Jets hat, and I don't like to wear that.
That's full Edmonton Elks Golden Bears, University of Golden Bears right there. So
you go.
nice wrapping there, Greg.
Oh Jesus, my name is so long.
We have a lot of wall to work with, so you are good.
You are of Greek heritage,
Oh, we're
right?
getting a heart.
There, Greg Wyshynski loves Connor.
Love it.
That's
Not
awesome.
Leon.
Oh, no.
No, you just caught it.
Suck it, Leon. Just Connor.
Thank you for coming in, Greg. Appreciate it, and all the hits.
Have a good one, Greg.
Check him out.
He touched his pen.
ESPN.
He's honestly the best guy.
That was cool. A lot taller than I was expecting.
Yeah.
There's people that you meet that you're like, they're smaller than that. There's people you meet that you see on TV, like, lot taller. It's funny,
weird.
like-
It's like seeing them in person. It's, I don't know. It's tough to put into words. But LT was just like, I agree. I was expecting to look like right at him. I look up at him.
Greg's great, but there's a bunch of people you're like, oh my God, you are tiny.
Yeah.
He has taken the last green and gold hat that we have for Edmonton
Excellent.
Sports Talk at this moment.
A worthy
there's a-
person.
Bryce the
Another
Sparky-
recent nasties will.
Bryce the Sparky came and bought one a couple days ago, or was that yesterday?
Yesterday.
That was yesterday. And now Greg's taken to wear out of those ones. But if you would like any products as the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk, it is the High Product Marketing official merch partner of EST. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, highproductmarketing.com, edmontonsportstalk.com. Click on Shop EST. We got orange and blue hats still available, both in flat and curved. We still got original stuff and the original colors, flat and curved, and we also got some Riverhawks colors in flat as well. We got the trucker hat style, plus some other merchandise. EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The EST Hangout. It is also presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider. Be sure to buy Canadian. Go online, sentinel.ca, to find convenient locations nearest you. They've got indoor units, drive-up units, outdoor parking, all sorts of storage solutions. Again, check them out, sentinel.ca. Oilers are up 1-0 in the Stanley Cup final against the Florida Panthers after a come-from-behind win, OT win. Thankfully, they finished and we didn't have to go to a second overtime. Your guys' thoughts, Trev, your thoughts on that game?
Well, I think it's pretty cool. First time being up in a finals since 1990. I just read that coming into the Hangout. So that's awesome. Yeah, I like that. So initial thoughts, it was great. It was just a very fun game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It had everything. It was physical. There was some scoring, coming down the stretch there. There was a lot of, the teams were playing great defense as well. So as a fan, it's everything you want in a game. And then I just loved Jake Wallman. I was on the lock shop yesterday. I had him scoring a goal. He didn't score a goal, but I'm so happy. I was happy when the Oilers got him, but I'm just more like every time he steps on the ice, I'm like, okay, like he's just turning out to be an unreal player. The confidence is showing every single shift he takes. He's just making really good plays. So I love how the team, they forechecked, and the Florida Panthers are a forechecking team, but it's a fascinating series. I love it. They're up. And we didn't have to wait for 2 weeks or a week and a half for the Oilers to finally get their win in the Cup final. They finally got it, game 1. So I loved it. It was awesome.
I have a question for you guys, and great breakdown, and also with Wallman too. Like he was hurt a couple of times blocking shots, and
He went down late in the
powered
first.
through, and then he got another one on the leg in the second, and you could see TD Force kind of go over, and you can see Wallman just like
He was fighting
doing
it.
the hunch and the lean, and
Yeah.
and then every couple of deep breaths, it's like, oh, he looks like he's getting better and better, and and he was still physical. He was laying the body. I'll ask you guys this: like, yes, the Oilers won the game yesterday. It's a phenomenal hockey game, like just
So
back
sick.
and forth, two great teams going toe to toe. This is hypothetical, or if it does happen, could happen tomorrow. Whatever. If it's another game like the one we saw last night, but the Oilers come out on the losing end of it with the way both teams played, would there be a lot of things, like let's take the Panthers, for example, from last night. Would there be a lot of things about the Panthers game that you'd say, man, they need to do this better and that better, and if they can't figure this out, they're screwed? Because to me, it's just like, roll the dice. You don't know what's going to happen between these two teams. Now, I like the Oilers' odds because of McDavid, Draisaitl, their health, the way this team's clicking. Skinner's playing good. Like, I'll say yes. That's why I picked the Oilers to win. But I don't look at the Panthers and go, boy, they need to do this better and that better. Like, it's just like, that team's really good and this team's really good. And then they played really hard against each other in a good game. Edmonton ended up winning that game. Like, is there anything that you guys saw from the Panthers that you'd be like, that's concerning?
I think in the first and the third periods, a little too often, they just weren't good enough 5-on-5. The Oilers dominated the play 5-on-5.
Okay,
Like, what was the shots in the third period again?
14-2?
Like, the Oilers just ridiculous in the third period, just shutting things down. And it's the Oilers tied that game up, with a fair amount of time left in the third period and stuff. So it's not even like it
that
was
was awesome.
they were defending for the period, and then there was like 3 minutes left in the game, and the Oilers finally got the tying goal, and you could be like, well, they were just defending. I also wonder if they, especially through the second, because what I saw about the Panthers was just how fast they are.
Yeah.
They're a fast team, both skating and also with their stick, but they get to the puck carrier. They get to the play. And I wonder if they tired themselves out as they got into the third period. And I know Reed talked about it, like they started off overtime pretty well. And then he pointed out, with the puck over the glass penalty and looked like it was just they're tired. And on the PK, they were tired. And did the Panthers maybe tire themselves out a little too much by not pace themselves well enough to not go through overtime, because you can't expect to go through overtime, but through 60 minutes. And is that why maybe we saw in the third period they didn't get their shot? So I would say, just if I was Paul Maurice, maybe it's got to find a way to save your energy for the whole game.
Yeah.
And at times be a little bit better on 5-on-5. But you're right. Like in that game, like I think this is the first time in this playoffs the Oilers are going against a goalie like Sergei Bobrovsky. Like as good as Jake Onger is in the regular season stuff, there was just a confidence that you got watching Sergei Bobrovsky. That the Oilers would have some opportunities, and he was making a lot of good saves.
True. That Arvidsson goal was bad.
It was, yes, he had that bad goal, but there was
bad.
other moments where he was keeping the puck away, and it was just like I didn't even have a worry that like, oh, that's not going to go in. Whereas I think there were other moments and other shots in that game that I think Ottinger or Hill or Kemper were letting in.
Yeah.
And Bobrovsky's just a different level. And yeah, he might still have those weak goals once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a lot to beat him.
Yeah.
And the Oilers did it last year. And they found a way to get 4 past him yesterday. So he is beat. The Oilers can beat him. But this is the first time where they're going up against the goalie where I think they could go like, oh, this is a different level.
Shots 10-6
Yeah.
in overtime favor the Oilers, by the way. Go ahead.
10-6. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, these are the two best teams in the league. I think they know what to fix and what not to fix, but like what they need to fix for both teams going into every single game, like the list is small.
Yeah.
Like these are the teams as they're the standard, right? So I don't think you're fixing a heck of a whole lot. I don't think Paul Maurice or Chris Knobloch is coming in after any game for the team that loses and be like, okay, like there's some glaring issues here. I think you do. There's a few housekeeping items, but it's fine tuning, right? Like the margin of error is so slim in this series, so I don't think there's a heck of a whole lot really.
Yeah.
It's a roll. You roll the dice, like honestly, like
Sam Bennett's a good player.
he is.
What
gonna
an
say.
asshole on the ice. And
He
I
is.
admire
He's a
that.
prick.
Yeah.
And he could do some things in tight windows, or like he'd come right in through the middle of the offensive zone. He's a good player.
Yeah, he is.
Didn't notice Matt Tkachuk much yesterday.
He was very quiet.
He's
I thought
hurt.
maybe he is
Kachuk.
banged up
He's
still,
hurt.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not. I don't think he's past 80%.
Yeah.
Like
he's not doing a heck
he's
of a
fighting
lot.
right now. So
Good sign for the Oil. Ekholm 25 minutes last night.
That was
That was
awesome.
really good. I did have this. I mentioned it on the post game show. Late in overtime, before no sick puck over glass penalty, I was like, I wonder what they're gonna eat in the intermission because they look like they're starting to get tired. And I'm like, well, I do know Shane O. He's one of the equipment managers for the Oilers, the younger one. He goes and he gets there's like a dozen pizzas he has to pick up fresh from BP, and he brings them in, or is it Pizza 73, whatever? But he has
Pizza
to
73 is within.
Yeah, he has to bring them into the locker room, and I was like, would it be a pizza thing, or would they have the chef in the kitchen getting the group the right meal because they have a huge kitchen back there?
Is that right?
And then I was like, what about the Panthers? Like, would they just get the pizzas? I actually started to think, like, what are they going to eat, snack on? Remember they had that, Louis Domingue had the spicy chicken, wasn't great or whatever.
Oh yeah, he was
I'd
fighting
actually be
it.
fascinated how that works. Like,
I
at
didn't
what
know
point
this
does
is
a
news to
chef
me.
like even go like, oh, I got to throw in some pies. Like, I'm assuming there was food getting prepped, and it was ready to go because of when the Oilers scored that goal. That they could go in the locker room and like grab a menu and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to order. There's no time. It has to be ready for
you
them
have to have
room.
something, yeah.
I'd be fascinated how that actually whole process goes, the logistics behind that.
That's
But I never even thought of that.
Like, because they have a full kitchen that the chef comes in and makes the meals. Like, you could be making a big one. Like, boys, have some
get
pasta.
did you get the
Making
pasta
some pasta
going?
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'm
Let's
picking.
go. You know.
that's all news to me. I don't know why I never thought of that. Eating between intermissions.
Well, you always hear about
Yeah.
what they ate.
Yes,
in the
that's
intermission.
why.
You always hear about that, like afterwards, like especially if it's like triple overtime or something. Like, what were you guys fueling on in the intermission? They always come up with, oh, you got this or this. I just never thought of the logistics of getting it ready.
They have everything available to them in that locker room. That's why.
But
That's
even the
why.
Panthers, like, how do they get stuff? And I'm assuming
They have to
others
order.
have to get some things that like they might help out to a degree.
Or they could have like something catered and ready to go for them. That is
like the rink would and stuff. But yeah.
The rink made a great media meal, by the way, the other day. Oh my god, it was phenomenal. Like,
Is it free or do you have to pay for these ones?
no, that was free.
Oh, no way.
That was good. That's why it's.
Yeah,
I know you guys you're gonna be running over there.
I gotta go to I forgot my media pass. Damn it.
Was it free?
Do you want
That's
to take
funny.
mine?
I could go to the Stanley Cup media because I got the credentials. The media, I could just go grab media meal. I was gonna take out to containers and just keep running back and forth and feeding all you boys.
Yeah.
Compared to previous years, well, I guess just last year, what was the crowd like last night? Was it?
It was awesome. Tell Reed to bring his pass. Reed, if you're listening, bring your pass. The crowd yesterday was phenomenal, but it's been so consistent
Yeah.
all through the playoffs. And like the buzz around the rink was great. The vibe at Ice House was awesome. Very positive, very positive. And I'll say this too. I'll give the city credit, the way they're handling dissipating the crowd. It's been much better, much better.
Nice. Are you guys separated in the press box?
Yes.
Yeah, quite
I'm
a
with
bit, eh?
Reed
Oh, you're with Reed. Okay. Yeah, I was
Gregor.
curious about that.
and Patrick Henry.
Oh, nice.
Nice. I like
Nice.
Pat Henry's awesome.
But just jam packed, hey? Not a single
where are
seat
you?
empty.
I'm with the NHL PR team.
Nice.
Nice.
And Pagnotta and Bernstein and Coolius. Yeah.
Nice.
It's called the Bernstein Alliance.
They moved the whole press box around.
Everything is everything.
We're all in different spots.
There's
Yeah,
auxiliary
that's-
press.
yeah, I was curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw Speck and the writers were closer to where Reed and I are.
Yeah.
I haven't been to that end of the press box since it opened.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing a walk around, but I never walked to that end. It's
have-
I get the Oilers are tax zone twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way they do it, it's the like national, international guys, like the big dogs get the prime seats. Both teams have to have their respective booths. Same with the rights holder broadcast, radio and TV, both American and Canadian. TVA for the French language broadcast. So they have a big presence there as well, which, we don't really see a lot of. It's not part of
Right.
our daily media routine, obviously. And then everybody kind of gets pushed out. But yeah,
Cool.
we got our spots, and I was like, I had to actually go to Chris Wojcik from the league. I've known Woj since he was with the Coyotes, and then he went to the Panthers to do PR, and then the league hired him. That's how good he is. I was like, Woj, I only saw 2 EST seats. He goes, I got you, Bernstein Alliance. And I was like, oh, we're okay then.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
it was awesome.
Yeah, I like learning the behind the scenes.
It's like it's his alliance. It's not Pagnotta's. It's Bernstein's alliance.
Everybody loves DB. He's the best. He's the best. So anyway,
That's really cool.
yeah.
I'm curious to hear, Maddie, what are your thoughts? Because I know Tommy's thoughts. I listened to a little bit of post game yesterday. The coach's challenge.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
I'm with Reed. I'm with Hernan.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't have challenged it.
Yeah, I know I'm wrong on it, but I just
I don't know. I
didn't-
was with you.
well, thank you.
Yeah,
As I was
thought
watching the replay, as soon as I saw Kulak skate, I went, that's the thing that they're going to point to.
there was
that
like
he
no
got tripped.
intention. Like Kulak didn't deliver. It
Right,
wasn't
right. But then at that point, like, and look, I know a lot of people don't want to give Sam Bennett the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think in that
I'm
moment
definitely not giving
he
him the benefit of the
realizes
doubt.
I'm going to completely take this advantage and fall fully into the net or something. But like, to me, when you first saw the replay, he was like, oh, it looked like he fell, and he just went into Skinner. But then I saw Kulak skate. I'm like, well, that's why he fell. Like he wasn't like, and that would be your motion. When Kulak comes and hits your skate, you're going to fall backwards and you're going to go towards the net. Like, so I understood why, and like even the ref when they said it, due to the Oiler defender, it caused that.
Yeah, I get that.
If roles were reversed, we would all be screaming for that to be a goal. If that was the Oilers who had scored on the Panthers, we would all be sitting there screaming, he got tripped. That's not an accident. If that was Evander Kane or Corey Perry, we would be screaming for that to be a goal. Whether the NHL would have called it that way, if it was the roles reversed, that's a different conversation. I'm not getting into hypotheticals. We're not there right now. But I'm okay. Like, so it was one early in the game. It's now 1-1. I'm not using my challenge in that moment.
fair.
I'm saving my challenge for a later moment where something can happen. Now, I know how Reed, on the post game with Reeds presented by Edmonton Garrison. He explained that maybe the Oilers PK had already killed one. Thought we believe in the PK.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we could pull this one back. If not, they'll get that stop. They ultimately didn't though. But also at the same time, you have the rest of the game to recover. Where it's like the Jim Hiller one, there wasn't much time to recover if you gave that one up. With Chris Knob, you still have a lot of hockey still to recover from it. I don't like the challenge at all.
Interesting.
That's the standard they have now, though. Like that's like if
I was
If
totally
you get tripped into the goalie,
yeah,
sure.
like I think
But-
both coaches are going to their guys, going, okay, hey, if you guys feel contact in front of the net and like
let it be.
hey, take a fall into the goalie because that's the standard they set, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm with you, Maddie. I think it was the right. I didn't think it was a good challenge. I thought they gotta let that go, and I thought it would count. But I hate that being the standard now, though, because now it's just gonna be. I feel like some guys are just gonna take falls on the goalies. 'cause
Yeah,
they
what's
know-
that lead
'cause they-
to?
Yeah, but at the same time, if they I hate the standard being that if you accidentally get, or if you get knocked down and you fall into the goalie, we're taking away goals from an NHL game.
Yep. Yeah,
That's the other part to that. Like,
Yeah, I was very happy with the challenge, and then a minute later, I was yelling at my TV. I don't know. I digress, I guess, but I'm happy we're talking like the Oilers did come up with the win, because if they'd lost, that would be a huge talking point today.
Yeah.
It was like that challenge, and so I'm happy it's whatever. It's in the past now. They won, so it doesn't really matter, which is the big thing. But yeah, I was baffled by that. But I see your point, Maddie.
Text comes in and says, Coach's challenge. Now the Oilers know what they can and must do to Bob.
Yeah.
but that is a risky game because look, we know that standards do change, whether rightfully or wrongfully. Standards do change.
Yeah.
And you go do that, but they call you on it, you lose out. Like, that's the risk that you do have to take, because we know how, like Tom, you've pointed, officiating NHL, the bar is low and they still trip over it.
Yeah.
And that even with reviews at times, a little bit on that as well. That is a dangerous game if you go in and coach that way too, though. That's the one thing I will point out, to that if you go, like, you feel that contact, you fall in the goalie, do it. Well, no, because you might lose a scoring chance for the sake of that the NHL, though, might call you on it. They might.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And we might I'm not going to get to say the NHL's wrong or right in doing that. They're not. Mm-hmm. But that's what we know will happen. That it's a toss up, that if that play happens next game with Evander Kane, there's a chance that they will call that goaltender interference and the puck will not. There's a chance of that, straight up.
That's why.
So you can't, I don't think you could coach that way in a sense, because the NHL game by game
is different.
could be very different.
Yeah.
That's the
refs are
risk of
different.
playing it that way. I will throw that one out there. Because it even also, if Sam Bennett does that next game, there's a chance that will be called goaltender interference. Like that's just we don't know with the NHL often.
Right when you were starting that point, a text came in and said, "There's too much quote accidentally on purpose unquote allowing that goal to stand." 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's why I recognize the majority of people say no, shouldn't have made that challenge happen. And my instinct was, yeah, you challenge that, but there's such a varying or so many variances in how it's interpreted, who calls it, what person sees, which person sees what, and it's like I don't know.
Well, actually, with that, like, because that goes to Toronto, and the refs don't make the ultimate call in the end.
I think you're right. But
do we know who the people are in Toronto? Does that change week in, week out, game in and game?
That's a good
in?
question.
Because
I
like
don't know.
soccer,
I don't know.
I'll point like they'll start the game and they go, here are your 4 match officials, and here's your VAR referees. We get to know who the VAR referees are. Why don't we I think the NHL needs to start saying these are who are the people in the war room. So
they used to do that. Remember the video review judge was like Bob LeDrew, I think something like that in Edmonton. But they would announce who the video review judge was. This is like 90s, early 2000s.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, you would know, and you're like, oh, that's
they were in the rink,
and they would have a shot of them looking at they'd have multiple screens and
Just looking busy.
and it would be in the arena.
but they should have that where we and then we know who the refs are. We should know who's calling these, who's in Toronto calling these games. That when it does go, is it a consistent person or is it changing week in and week out?
Wasn't it
game in
Chris
and game
King? He's a former player, but I saw Chris King yesterday, so he's here.
Oh.
Like
maybe it
everybody
is.
in the hockey world is here. Brian Getzlaf was in the press box last night. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
What the hell's he doing? And it's just like everybody in the hockey world is kind of here. It's insane.
I like it.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool, honestly. That's really cool.
I had another point on the video stuff, but now I forgot.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point. Yeah, it's
debatable.
And that's just when you get to
Which is
review,
annoying.
it's got to be concrete evidence, and that's
Yep.
one where I could sit there and whatever side you believe happened on that play, at the very least on the review. Oh, that's what I was going to go with on the review. I don't think it was going to get overturned because of the concrete, and that's where the risk comes with that.
Right.
What I didn't, the NHL PR Twitter account usually posts the after
Explanation.
challenges, and they do an
Yeah,
explanation.
yeah.
I did not like it because I usually don't click those. I clicked it. It was just so vague. It was just a defender. Like it was basically what the ref said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was hoping that they'd be like, Brett Kulak skate hits Sam Bennett's skate, who then not accident, but falls into skate. Like actually
Conveniently.
explained, okay, this is what happened on this play, and this is why we associate it with this part of the rule book as to why this goal counts.
Right.
But it was just like almost like AI generated, post this out there.
Just
like,
to get out of the way
Define
kind of
it
thing.
based on, like you're saying this is our explanation for this. Well, explain it and use the players that are involved while you're explaining it.
I think
That's the one thing I'll say with that one.
Blair texted and said, so on that line of thinking, should Kane have received a penalty after being knocked into Kemper after the good goal? Yes, but using the war room reasoning from last night, Kane got pushed in, therefore no penalty. Thoughts?
Yeah, and at the time I
and
thought
that's-
I didn't think he got pushed in much, but I also understood that most people thought that should have been goaltender interference, and I think everyone wanted that to be goal. And but this is the flip side where the NHL didn't call that goaltender interference. No, they did call it goaltender
did,
interference,
yeah.
and they didn't call the Sam Bennett one, and that's why you can't coach it this way because it could be different.
Yeah. It varies.
You're just guessing.
I think the one, if I had to guess, the difference one though is that Kane was skating towards Kemper and he was right in the crease area, whereas Bennett was in front of the crease when he got hit and came backwards. I wonder if that is part of the reasoning for that one. Yeah, but every Oiler fans, you wanted that to not be called goaltender interference. You didn't think that was goaltender interference. So
Yeah. That's the way she goes.
that's how it is. But in the end, it doesn't matter, as Trev said, because the Oilers went and got the win.
Let's go, baby. Just dominance. There's the icings there in the OT. The crowd on their feet, just one shift after another. That was just so. I thought that's when it was the Oilers. I really thought they were gonna get it done there, but man, they were it was so fun. Like that OT, and credit to Stuart Skinner. Like I've been pretty
Thank you.
critical. Like I have. Like, and I don't know. Sometimes he's inconsistent at times. Right? We see him. He's really good, and that's what the numbers are for Skinner. But I mean, Florida Panthers, they wanted to get this done early, and they came out strong in the OT, and the Oilers were able to weather the storm, and they countered that with heavy forechecking. It was great to see. So I loved that Connor and Leon, they put them together. What was it, in the third period, I think? And then followed into
Mixed
OT.
in a little sprinkle.
I didn't mind that at all, but just, I mean, Connor and Leon to finish it off with just such a shifty play by Corey Perry. Just so sick. Like, I feel like that's not getting, but that was my favorite part. Like, not even close with that goal. And McDavid, he saw it. He was like, just, I don't know.
He pointed to Perry, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He went straight to him. Like, not a lot of players. Like, for Perry, the skates aren't there. The hands, you could argue, are still kind of there. He's still got an okay shot, but the mind is, that's it for Perry. Like, he still thinks the game at a very, very high rate, I feel like. And that was what we saw last night. Like, not many players at that age can make that play. And he countered. Like, I was talking about it, the penalty kill for the Panthers, why they're so effective. They're on you. Like, they're so aggressive. And so, you know, he committed, I forget the defenseman there for the Panthers, but he committed to attacking Perry, and he took full advantage of him with a pass he was not expecting. Mm-hmm. So it was just, I love that play. And then the sauce, the finish. Oh, it was great. It was great.
To Skinner, like, I thought both goalies were fantastic last night.
They were.
But like in the second period with the Panthers in the start of overtime, they had a lot of chances. The Oilers were giving away the puck a lot in the second period, I think it was.
Yeah, they were.
And Florida had a lot of, like, they were coming in on the rush, or they would get the puck in the offensive zone, and Skinner kept it out of the net. Like, the Panthers had a few opportunities in the second period and in overtime to put that game away.
They did.
And they couldn't because of Stuart Skinner. That has to be pointed out in that one. And he was excellent in that game, because that game could have gotten away from the Oilers a little bit more with just how sloppy the Oilers were at times in that second period. And it was their goaltender that was bailing them out, which is, you know, the criticism of Skinner throughout most of the season and the early part of this playoffs was he didn't make those saves when his team was sloppy. Well, since he's come back from Pickard's, when Pickard went down, he's done that.
Yeah.
He has been that goalie.
He had that one sequence in the second period where I think he made 2 or 3 stops in a row, and he had to slide from one, or he didn't even slide. He pushed, and he got himself over to the other side of the net very quickly. I was like, okay, he's on tonight. And people were asking on the post-game show, do you think that it clicked in for him after he got clipped by Bennett and he finally just dialed it in? I'm like, I don't know, maybe, but I just seemed, to me, he seemed on and like razor sharp and was determined to make sure that he wasn't going to be slow getting across his crease. And sure enough, I mean, he had a couple of good sequences, but that one stood out to me because it was a small barrage, if you will.
Yeah.
And he stopped them all.
Yeah, he was great. And part of that too is, like, I'll go even to the start of overtime there. In the third period, he didn't face a lot of shots.
2.
So you go through the third period, you face 2 shots, you then sit, and then you go back out there. And, like, so that sometimes could be very difficult for a goalie. And in the most important game of the season, you're in do or die time. You can't let in the next goal. He withheld. He stood tall while the Panthers started that overtime really well.
Yeah.
Like, that isn't easy in itself, where you're sitting there not facing anything. You're not involved in the play to a degree. And you still go out there and you make the saves when it eventually comes your way in overtime. He's been very impressive to me.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It really has, and it's like I'm all on board. Like, I'll credit where credit's due. Like, I'll kind of be negative towards his play. Maybe not negative, but like I'm not quite sold. But I mean, he's been on it as of late, and he deserves all the credit because he's looked lights out different from the goalie that we saw against the Kings. And there's several plays that you guys had mentioned that you could see it. Like, he's on it. So it was great.
Number 2 goalie at the Olympics right now.
Number 2.
Oh, we're looking ahead, are we?
I think he's played himself to the team. I think right now he's playing himself as the backup to Binnington to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just the thing. Like, where does it go from here? Like, we were talking about it. JMO, he posed the question, will this shut the haters up if he wins the cup? You know, big if there. But, and that's just the thing. Like we saw this Stuart Skinner in last year's playoffs, and people were sold, and that's where I was kind of on the fence. Like I'm still not quite there yet. And then he kind of had a little bit of an underwhelming season. I think
It was.
It was,
Yeah,
right?
it's okay to say it.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt his feelings.
Yeah, and so it's where do you go from here? And here's hoping that okay, he can just continue this play and maybe not continue this play like 100% of the time, but at least 80 or 90 as opposed to 50-50 what he was doing during the regular season.
This is his third full season, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, we have to remind ourselves, I have to remind myself, like, how long he's been? 3 years. Yeah. And he's accomplished a lot on a good team. There's been peaks and valleys. He's literally winning right now.
Yeah.
It just looks so confident doing it.
Good. That means
Like you don't watch it like that. This is the one game I was like, okay, what's he gonna do after a break? And now I just have full Florida's a good team. The gentleman's sweep. I'll see what happens tomorrow. I think it's a little tough. It's going to be tough against this hockey team. But if the Oilers win tomorrow, I'm still fully on the gentleman's sweep idea.
Gentlemen.
Yes.
But it's one where I do find it as good as the Florida Panthers are, as much as they impressed me last night. I don't know how they beat the Oilers 4 of 6.
Yeah.
Not a hockey.
That's what hurt it.
20
Like,
different players have scored for the Edmonton Oilers in these playoffs.
that's a tied for a franchise record, which is pretty sweet.
But TS Echo made it 20 different players have scored for the Oilers.
We
in
need
these
Josh
playoffs.
Brown to break it or someone else.
You watch your mouth.
Who's going to break it? Who? I was trying to think who hasn't.
Yeah, Troy Stetcher.
Setcher hasn't,
right.
so he might.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Emerson.
But all the forwards, I was trying. I think
I'm thinking like Pods. Does Pods score?
he
Yeah, he's
scored
got one.
against Vegas.
Yeah.
Right.
Arvidsson, Skinner, Henrique, Kane. They've all chipped
got-
in. Nuge, Hyman,
If
Ferry.
DR needs
Brown.
to play,
These are playoffs.
Maybe not.
probably not.
Okay, here's what we
So
got
that's
for.
what the-
I have a quick text.
3 players have
Okay, go
played
ahead.
that have not scored. Brown, Stetcher, Emerson.
Okay,
That is it.
damn, that's impressive.
Real quick on Skinner, this text says, Skinner reminds me of Mike Smith, both really good goalies when they're on. The only issue is consistency.
Yeah,
Mike Smith was actually a really good, consistent goalie. He was with the Coyotes when they went to the conference final in 2012. I think they lost to LA that year, and he was a big part of that. Mike Smith was also one of the Olympic goalies in 2014. Mike Smith had an all-star career.
He took the Coyotes to the conference final.
Yeah, and it took him a while to get going, and he did get traded a couple times early in his career, but then he settled in with Arizona, became an all-star, went to the conference final, Olympic third stringer, by the way, in 2014, and then he played till he was 40 or whatever. But there are some like crossover elements of their games, and you see Skinner talk about Mike Smith a lot and admiration for him. So I get that. I get that reference.
But the consistency part, though, is like Skinner's been good since what? If you want to take away Game 3 of the Golden Knights series, Game 4 of the Golden Knights series.
yeah.
So it's 2 of the Golden Knights series, a 5-game series against the Stars. We're at 7. We're at 8 games. That's a long,
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
it's the
That's a
same battle,
decent chunk.
'cause,
That
he's
is.
doing it for it's extended period of time that you are playing at
a month?
I'll say an elite level.
I think he's on the best stretch right now, albeit short, but I think this is the best stretch in his career, like the games that you just mentioned. Because even though the numbers he was able to put up last year's playoffs were really good, I think a lot of that was the team in front of him, and he wasn't making as many big saves as he is this year. As we had mentioned earlier, there was, I think it was Carter Verhaeghe. He was in the slot 6-7 minutes left in the third. I was like, oh gosh, and then he saved it. Like he made a great save. I'm like, I think Stuart Skinner might have let that in last year. So I think he's making way bigger and more timely saves this year.
Even 3 goals allowed yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them.
Yeah,
He said I couldn't let the next one in. He didn't.
But the first goal is the one that he got knocked down, like he's got interfered with.
Yeah.
Now it was accidental, but so that's hard to go you should have made that save.
Right.
Then the other 2 goals that the Panthers scored they were great shots.
He had no chance
on
on the
the power play.
Marchand one.
Yeah, that was
a
beautiful.
seam pass and he still got a little piece of it with his glove.
yep.
And then the Bennett one, Bennett went in there with speed and just snapped it by him.
And that's just and
scorer's
that's one of those
goal.
good player scoring. You know, and the worst goal that was allowed last night was from the other goalie. It was also very good in my mind in Bobrovsky. So
He made some great saves. There's one-timer that he had to come across and get his pad on. And I was like, geez, he was quick on
On
that one.
Frederick, I think.
Yeah.
that was sweet.
that's why I say like it's the first like out of all the goalies Oilers have seen, this is a different level for me this playoffs. It's even Jake Onger. Like I didn't have the confidence looking at a Jake Onger going like, oh, let's take those shots. Like yeah, I expect those to go in.
So you're saying Pete DeBoer was right? I'm just kidding.
I do. At the very I'll say this: Pete DeBoer's not wrong fully in what he said about Jake Onger. How he went about doing that,
Maybe it wasn't
and
the best.
everything was not the right thing.
You take that
but in
dagger
the
out
end,
of Ottinger's back right now.
the Oilers had his number, and outside of one game last series, I didn't see a confident goaltender in net. I didn't see what I saw from Sergei Bobrovsky yesterday, even while allowing 4 goals. I didn't see that once, or outside of one game, which would have been game 4. I didn't see that from Jake Onger at all. And even in game 4, I just, maybe because of the first 3 games, I just didn't have confidence that he was going to make those saves.
Yeah, just one last thing on Skinner here. But I know it was, what game was it? It was coming out in the Stars, the broadcast, just saying, oh, look at the swagger. He's walking out. He's feeling it tonight. But I know it's been talked about quite a bit. His mannerisms, you could say post-game in particular, he'll be laughing after a lose. Like when the Oilers lose, he'll be like, that's tough. But, and everyone's way of handling is different, right?
I think that's his coping
That's just
mechanism.
who he is, and
That's how I
I'm
would
starting
describe
to get that now. But at first, I was like, what the heck? You just lost. I remember last year in the finals, he was making a joke in the post game. I brought it up to you, for the post, and so
pissed
that's just
people off.
how he handles it. But there's one thing I saw yesterday when he's walking out. There's one kid and he's putting his hand out, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be very interesting. As Stuart's going, oh hey, how's it going? I'm going to give you a little here, give you some
Dap him
knuckles
up.
here. He didn't. He walked right by this kid, but then there was like 4 or 5 other Oilers right behind giving him knuckles. I'm like, okay, he means
When was this?
He means go time when the Oilers were taking the ice to start the first period.
So coming out to start the game.
coming out to
Yeah,
start the
he's
game.
too focused.
He's
I
dialed in.
actually love watching
I love
him
that. That was
walking out.
awesome. Yeah, that was great.
He has this confident strut as he goes from the locker room onto the ice.
You like that tunnel cam, huh?
I love that. Actually, I really do. I
does.
also just imagine how cool it would be to be that starting goalie leading your team onto the ice.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of great moments, and I'm just trying to think of what the other great ones in sports. Being that closer in baseball, the music coming and
walking
the whole
out.
stadium cheering for you, and you're running out. Being that starting goalie, leading your team onto the ice and stepping onto the ice must be such a cool feeling. But I also I analyzed this myself, but he had a much cooler and better strut than Calvin Pickard ever did.
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like Calvin Pickard had this big strut.
Calvin Pickard's like,
It's just
the bobble, the head
And
bobble.
Skinner had a strut, and this guy means business. Let's go.
Yeah, I like it.
I always really
very-
liked his walk from, even in regular season, all the time. It's from locker room onto the ice. It's a great strut. But he's always been focused. And yesterday, there was a delay when the players got onto the ice. They came out and they were standing there for a while. And I'm assuming we had to get connected with the national broadcast.
Yeah.
Because even some of the players started skating around and doing some loops because they stood there for probably about a minute. Mm-hmm. And then finally, Al Stafford came on and says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rogers Place in Edmonton and stuff like that. But then when they were doing the introductions, it was a long introduction. You're doing this, and then they got to Skinner. And you could just see this guy is focused.
Yeah, he wasn't smiling. I like that.
He didn't look any other way. He just was in his zone where he just stares across the ice.
Yeah.
That's what Stuart Skinner
more
does.
of that, please.
Yeah, I agree. I would have to agree.
Say it for the fans. More of that, please.
Now, we'll swap you out in a bit here for Eric, but I do have a question. The Oilers are obviously feeling good. The Oilers obviously feel really good about the rest of this series. For the Panthers, how do you think they feel after this game? Do they feel like they let that game? This is they had the lead. They're 30-0 or 31-0.
31, yeah.
Closing out games in the Paul Maurice and stuff. Do they feel like this was the one that they were going to get? Because they need the split in Edmonton. That's what they're going for. This was the one and they let it slip away? Or do they walk away going, okay, we just still only need one. We almost had it. Let's go do it tomorrow. We know we can go do it tomorrow. Where are they coming?
Yeah, I mean, it's a championship team. They went down 0-2 against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they end up winning that series in 7. So they're a confident bunch. Like they know their roles. They know exactly what they need to do and have to do. And I think they're going to give you their best every single game. Like you have yet to see. I mean, we look at that Leafs series. The Leafs they blundered. Like they fell. It was embarrassing. Like if I was a Leafs fan, I'd be pissed.
Games 5 and 7 were rough.
That was just embarrassing, and you're not going to get that from the Florida Panthers. Like, there's no way they're going to bring it every single game. So yeah, it sucks, but their mentality, their confidence is just as good as the Oilers. I like to think, and I think it sucks, but back to the drawing board. We know what you got to do, and they'll be back for game 2, and I expect a very close game. I don't think there's going to be any blowouts in the series.
I think Trev's right. Actually nailed it. Oh. Seriously, they'll just dust themselves off and be like, okay, let's get this going again.
Yeah.
We're going to have a few different twists and turns tomorrow, but it's going to be the business as usual, I think.
Yeah, they're like, I was talking with Tom before the show. Like, these are the 2 best teams in the NHL. I don't even think it's close.
Yeah.
Like, these are 2 juggernauts going at it. They have reasons to feel confident from this game. Like, they had good stretches. It was truly, like, it felt like a back and forth. One team dominates for 10 minutes, the other team dominates for another 10, or, the second period was all Florida, but the third period was all Edmonton, right? Like, they have reasons to feel confident. I'm sure there's stuff that obviously they're going to want to tweak, but they have no reason to be doubtful or anything. Like, they're going to walk into game 2 with the same amount of confidence they did in game 1.
Did it feel like they missed a lot of nets on some shots last night?
They were missing a lot of nets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's maybe one thing. Hit the net.
Tighten
Hit
it
the
up.
net,
Yeah.
hit the net,
They
get
had
that
their
in there.
chances. Yeah, you're right.
But I also don't think the Oilers will be as bad with their giveaways
Right.
as
But
they were.
see,
Like, I think
like,
they'll clean that up.
but that
I
comes-
think that part comes to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, but that all stems from Florida's forecheck.
That's
Like,
what's
they're not
their
like it's
aggressiveness.
Relentless.
like the Oilers' blue line is just as good as any team at just getting the puck up. And that's not them, just giving it away. That's all comes from Florida, just on you. Like, you have no time. That's what they do. So they'd like to. I like to think that the Oilers will be better at that. But
I think the Oilers have the best puck moving decor in the NHL.
yeah,
So, honestly, and even last night, like, they struggled because Florida's forecheck's so good. It's like I saw some stat or something. Like, it was like the Oilers are the best team at moving the puck out of their zone, and the Florida Panthers are the best team forechecking. So it's like 2 movable objects meet. Like, it's kind of one of those things. So like they're like it's both teams like high end strengths is that. But we saw both have their moments. But yeah, like it just felt like anytime an Oiler had the puck, there was 2-3 guys on them.
yeah.
Like it just like you never had any time and space with Florida. That's the game they play. That's why they're here.
That's awesome. That's what you want, though, right? Stanley Cup final. I want nothing
I don't
less.
want the Oilers to sweep a team in the final.
Yeah, no, I want it to be a battle.
Really?
Well,
I still have yet to witness this.
For my team, I just want the win. I just want to get it done.
Yeah, less
Do it as quickly as possible. Finish them off. I don't care if it's 3 blowouts. You're done. You're champs. And you also just feel like you're just so much better than everyone else.
if it was against Florida, yes, but it's more the fact of like if they played Carolina in the Cup final and they like beat the wheels off them, I'd be like, like Florida's the best team in the East. So.
I was when I was walking down the stairs to leave the rink, I did hear someone be like, Oilers in 4, like go for the sweep or something. And no, the team's not going to play for this. You don't wish, but I think if you're an Oilers fan, you want 1 loss. Truthfully, if the Oilers are going to win this, you don't want it in 4. You want it in 5. You want it on
you
home
want it
ice.
on-
You
sure.
want it like
Oh,
that's.
okay.
I think you just
I'm not
want it.
saying that you want it, but if you could picture
it,
like
baby.
it's 5 or 7, you want it done in.
Yeah.
If you had to order when it could be finished, I think it would go 5, 7, 4, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You want
So
to
you
be
want
able
a
to see
scoop
it.
of ice cream, caramel on top, and
Yes.
sprinkled sugar on top. Even
Yeah,
more,
well, and then
with a cherry after.
This is
holy.
This is the office where Michael Scott gets to do the pretzel, and he's given all the options. But you're getting the works, and you get it all. If the Oilers fan could get exactly what they wanted, I think you want it in 5.
sure. Yes.
If your
agree.
dream
Whatever,
scenario, so you
yes.
could do it on
That would
home.
be
you could
amazing.
do it on home ice.
I'd cry. I'll be at Game 5.
Just do it in any of these games. There you go.
That's what I think. Like again, it's just one of those a dream scenario.
Yeah, that'd be a dream. Here's hoping.
This text says a lot of Oiler giveaways were when there was no pressure last night. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit of nerves creeping in, but that's a good point.
I guess the Brett Kulak, right as soon as overtime started, gave it away. And I was like, are you kidding me? They came down. That's a good point.
Grumpy Cat doesn't agree. Who wants a loss? Big Uke says disagree somewhat, Maddie. Wayne has said his biggest NHL regret was never going to win on the road. And I know there was a lot of...
Really?
I've heard from the Oilers players, it was awesome to win the fifth one because they got it. It was just them.
Yeah.
They got to just celebrate as a group and then come back to Edmonton. But I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the players, or not the players, the fans. Yeah. I think as fans, you want to be the one. You want them to be able to be lifting the cup, not in an empty barn.
Yeah.
With some Oiler fans that will be there. You want them doing it at Rogers Place with all Oiler fans being there. You always want to win on a home. Like the Lakers, I remember watching them 09-10, I think. 09, we won in Orlando. And yes, I'm going to use we, so screw you, Tommy. We won it in Orlando.
Sassy.
Well, you're going to come at me with that one.
Yeah, you're right.
We won it in Orlando. It was fine. But 10, it was the Celtics, but it was in LA. And it was awesome that they won it at Staples Center.
Yeah.
We won in the Staples Center.
Nice.
I hope you had a nice night when they
Did
did
you do,
that.
what did a triple double for Iwanyk?
No, that was a tight game. It was like 79, 74.
They were on
something
you.
like that. It was a defense. Like it was probably one of the last real defensive games we'll see in the NBA Finals, I think.
I like
what
this
a great
text,
game.
regardless of what you just said. Just win 4 of the 7, please. Yes, exactly. That was funny, Matt. I appreciate that.
That was very funny.
Yes.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We are presented by Play Alberta. Deposit 20 or more and use promo code EST Casino, and you get a $50 casino bonus. Use EST Sports and deposit 20 or more and get a $50 free bet at Play Alberta, playalberta.ca. Trev, thank you very much for doing that.
Thanks for having me, boys. This was
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Lieutenant Eric will be coming in shortly. He's Tom Gazzola, I'm Iwanyk. He's Benny, the intern. As I mentioned, EST, the Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian, sentinel.ca. Coming up at 11 o'clock, it is the Lock Shop. Myself, I will be on the Lock Shop. I will also be joined by... Yeah, that one's fine. Yeah. I will be joined by... Dan Ralph from the Canadian Press, as we'll go over all 4 games in the Canadian Football League this week. As the CFL gets going tonight, week 1, Rough Riders, the Elks, they get going on Saturday out in BC. We got 2 guys and a goalie, Reed with Joaquin and Cass. We've got EST Afternoons. We've got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Later tonight, we do have the Turf District at 6 o'clock. We also have 9 o'clock, Oilers Live, a special edition. They usually go Wednesdays, but we had an Oilers game yesterday, so they will be going tonight right here on EST. Tomorrow night, also GCLD's Oilstream pregame show. 5 o'clock live at the Canadian Ice House. It will be game 2 tomorrow. Oilers looking for a 2-0 series lead as they take on the Panthers and, as I mentioned, Elks. Riders Saturday, which means the Green and Gold kickoff show. 7 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Jay and I live from the EST studios for the kickoff show. Eric, how are you?
Good morning. Great. How are you?
How has things been with Dave this week? I got to ask.
Magical.
It's
I
always
love it.
great, isn't
Intoxicating. Mysterious at times.
Okay.
Right? You know, I love doing the show with him. I wish I could have been you back in the day. He's brought you up a few times. The producing role.
He talked about the look you would give if a guest didn't show up. And what was the sign that you would do for him to tap dance? You'd go
I
like
never
this?
did that at all.
That's what
I
Dave
never
said.
did that once.
So that's why he's so mysterious.
I know it once said you got to tap dance or something. He would just see me. I would just be like, don't have the guest yet, or keep I'll let you know when I got him. I never once did like a tap dance thing.
You know what I know is true though? He'd tell me that some days if you just didn't want to talk, you just stare, just dead eyes. Like a great white shark, just black.
I've seen him do that.
That was late. There's that. I can explain when those ones were.
Oh, yeah.
When it was just Dave and I.
That's when you were drinking.
That'd be fun.
They can tell those things now. We're out of class.
No, I'm
You know,
just
it's-
kidding.
No, I always thought,
I'm joking.
it was a long time with Dave. I worked. I do miss it. Because I got to it wasn't even just doing the show. It was an early morning call, or like we'd have a morning call. We then sit at the office and we'd chat.
Well, your backs would be to each other. It'd
and
be
then
hilarious.
Afterwards, there usually was some sort of call after the show at some point.
Yeah.
Like they'd be like, "Hey, did you see this?" So there was a lot of talk between JMO and I. And I don't do a good enough job of staying in touch always with JMO still.
No, who does?
So
not just with JMO,
I
just with
do
each
feel
other.
bad.
Nowadays.
I do feel bad.
Or we've
love
never been
JMO.
more connected, but yet we've never been farther apart in
That is
this
so true.
modern world.
Him and I went for a coffee a couple months ago. It was great. We sat down for like an hour.
I might.
great.
Rumor has it that I might have a date with him tomorrow afternoon, like a post, just to wrap up the week. He keeps speaking of it. I hope we can make it happen.
That would be great. What was something that JMO's?
A beer.
JMO has this good. He sends me. There's a thread and someone on X, Twitter, whatever, that like breaks down guys' suits and style, and like people who are like looked as having good style, but really, if you get into the technicalities of the way it's fit and stuff like that, it's
Jasmine's
actually poorly
account,
done.
right? Yeah.
It's pretty much
Derek
Jasmine's
Guy,
account.
maybe?
Derek Guy, yeah, and JMO will be like, "What do you think of this?" And I'll read like this. It takes like 15 minutes, and this guy breaks. He's like, "Classic, never goes out of style." And I'm like, JMO, this guy's right. Like he rips the tights. It's a British guy. Rips like the tight suits and the short pants.
Because baggy's in now, isn't it? It's coming back. The baggy look, the overgrown suit look, like
the casual baggies.
the size.
And
big.
I know like Charlotte Claire and like Lewis Hamilton have done like baggy pants.
Yeah, Randy
tuxedos.
River. Buy now.
I think that'll be a quick fad. If it's made for you and like has a classic look, it never goes out of style. Just the right amount of length on the cuff and the hem, and then the shoulders are important. You know,
Tight around here.
well, fit
Form-fitting.
fitting. Yeah, not too tight and then you know, whether it's 2-button, 3-button, double-breasted, all that stuff is just
That's just
cyclical.
preference,
Anyway,
yeah.
it's just JMO sends those, and he's very consistent with that.
He's a man of style. He looks sharp coming in here early in the day.
Takes pride. This
He's
text,
giving me some Elks gear from when he was working for the team.
Oh, okay.
He just wants to get rid of them. So he's here, take them.
Yeah.
You know what? Cam Moon got a good haul from Jamie Cartmel the other day.
Hello.
He got a Leroy blue game worn jersey.
Oh, of actual, like,
Yeah.
no, like I'm like, this is stuff Dave had to wear.
Oh, like his
corporate.
sideline
Yeah,
gear?
yeah.
His sideline gear.
Yeah.
Oh, he got stuff like CFL stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
and then Jamie also gave him an 03 and 05 Grey Cup t-shirt.
Cool.
Did you get Dave's famous Labor Day khaki pants?
I did not.
Wouldn't that be
Perfect-
something?
perfectly
Those go
pressed.
in the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectly pressed. Yeah. Field pass still attached.
Everything. Yeah. The full.
I was just,
put it
I
on
just,
a mannequin.
I just pulled up the two pictures, I think, this weekend of those. Because there was the JMO yelling at Ed.
that was probably
love
displayed in the
And
old place.
then Ed looking at him, and you could kind of realize Dave kind of like, crap.
Whoopsies.
Look who I was doing that to. I wonder if I can't find those that quickly.
That's
it took
a
me a
good
little
photo,
bit there.
though.
No, I don't know if I. Well, we
Is
got
it on
it when
Google?
Dave was gone on his cancer treatments. We got it. Print somebody to design.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was his name? Nate Boss or Nick Nick Ross.
He was big on the Instagram or whatever.
and Twitter.
wasn't
He
he?
had a huge
yeah.
Twitter following. He was also some graphic designer or something, and we got him to do that. We're like,
Print out a picture.
yeah. Well, and then I got it nicely framed, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know Dave. I think he was going to try to get Ed to sign that, or I don't know if he ever did.
Yeah, we had it on earlier in the week, him and Dave. It's nice. I could just sit back. I mean, I was a listener at that point. It's nice to hear the two of them converse.
I love Ed.
Yeah.
Ed's always been very nice to me, and that's like I was doing the show on Monday after when I was at Century.
Yeah.
And I was just doing the lock shop, and he just walks by and he shook my hand and just.
Well,
he's always-
nice with us in the market, but it adds a bit of a snarl to the org. Would you not agree?
Oh,
absolutely.
like no, and like
The
if,
bad boys are back. Like that's what you want. It's football. You know.
I don't know if I noticed this from him the first time, but and he's saying it always, but I think the one thing he appreciates right now from Edmonton media is whoever's going to cover the team, he appreciates that.
Yeah.
He appreciates the people that are, whatever outlet they
For sure.
are talking about this league.
Yeah.
Because he knows and now recognizes, like, if the media is not talking about the Canadian Football League and the Edmonton Elks, it's one of the reasons that helps lead to less people at Commonwealth Stadium. They need the attention.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that part of him, but I also know, like, if I want to sit there and badmouth the Elks ill-informedly,
ill-informed.
He's not going to be happy with
He'll
that.
he'll
defend
take
his
honest
team.
criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, but
If I sit there and be like, and the Elks give up 40 points, and I go, your defense secondary was crap.
won't
in that
shy away
game,"
from that. Yeah,
I think he'd respect that part of
you
it.
have
But if
to.
I sit there and they don't give up a point, I'd be like, secondary was crap. And they had 3 picks and 0. Like, he'd probably be like, what the hell are you talking about? And who are you?
You're crazy.
Speaking of which, we didn't mention it nearly enough on the morning show because we had this Stanley Cup final. Have you heard it going on?
No, what is that?
But the jersey launch tonight, Midway?
Yeah. Actually, I did one of the reasons I did like why I put the order more of Trev, is I did want to do
time for the numbers drop here. It's June.
no. I
We're
wanted to
talking
do a little- I wanted to
football's
do
a
a-
winter
and I know
sport.
what- I'm
It's
not
June.
saying-
We should be talking hockey.
I'm not saying can't talk
I'm just
hockey,
joking.
but I know you love your CFL like I do.
do.
And today is a big day. I look forward to this day, the moment Grey Cup ends. And that's the start of the Canadian Football League season. We'll do Hangout headlines brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. Book your tee time today by visit theranchgolf.com. Proud host to the EST Golf Classic, presented by Play Alberta as well. At the draft this past week, the Ranch, Murray traded up. He had the 5th pick. He traded with ATB. He got the 1st pick in this partners draft that the Elks had.
He traded up?
He traded up.
Okay.
Swindled
So he
some
could
bankers?
draft Trey Ford. And now at this season, like if you're at Commonwealth Stadium and Trey does something, he is now part of Team The Ranch. Trey Ford as well.
Team
So you'll see.
The Ranch.
Well, I think Murray called him the Ranch ambassador and stuff now with that.
Very good.
Love it.
Murray, and it was funny as he was coming up to make his pick. I'm like, I think I know where this is going. He says, after all these years on the Hangout talking about this guy, I kind of have to take him.
He said that
to me, not to everyone else.
Okay.
You should get him a green and gold jacket to wear, like a.
Well,
You know?
they gave him a bunch of ranch stuff.
Okay,
which was
cool.
really cool. He actually made a funny joke because before he's like, "You need to rig it so I get the 1st overall pick," and he went on stage. He's like, "I tried
need
rigging."
to rig
well,
it.
he's like, "I tried bribing Matt because I'm on the Hangout and the VIP golf shows on EST, and he didn't do it, so I guess that's clean. But maybe I'll have to take the show to Sports 1440." And I was like,
I'm glad he
it was
gave
funny.
you I tried, but Maddie was.
He was there. But so Trey Ford is Team Ranch.
Okay.
A VIP golf show Sunday, 8:00 right here in Edmonton Sports Talk. But yeah, jersey launch today.
And from all the snippets we've been shown, I think people are going to like. Correct. I mean, I know we've probably all gotten a little peek behind the curtain more so than the Gen Pop, but
They've righted the wrongs. That's how I look at it.
I don't even like. Getting
the-
really deep, and you're a style guy.
antler
Well, the
things-
antler thing, they look like crab things.
Yeah, that's what JMO called them. I was like, oh, yeah.
I think to echo everybody here, I don't mind the brand, but Elks starts with the letter E.
Yeah.
So the EE is still prevalent. I mean, that should be the logo. I don't mind that the head. Use it as a secondary. Use it as the whatever you want to do. But the EE is the logo. It always has been. It always should be, and that's what it is. It's nothing. And you can wear your Elks. I mean, if you have whatever, you have more now as opposed to less. So it's a good thing.
That's true. Let's see. Benny's working on it. Did you find one?
Looking for it right now.
Okay.
You're
one are
talking
you
about the
looking
pants.
for?
It kind of goes up the side or whatever
well,
too.
They
Yeah.
had the silly pants for a year or two or whatever, but
I didn't mind either the antler helmet. I just thought the antler was too thin.
Yeah, I
it
agree
wasn't
with that.
prevalent
It was,
enough.
yeah.
You know, it would have worked if you.
The EE was what they were supposed to stick with, and that's why everyone was talking about E names at the time of the name change.
Yeah.
And then the board though loved the Elks logo, and they went with it. And that was just a huge mistake. That was
Yeah.
dropping the ball.
Yeah.
I really liked the 75th anniversary jersey that they had last year.
well, it's sticking around.
I know, and I'm glad
It's an alternate jersey. And
because that was a solid looking.
Have as many as you can. Why not? You know,
Yeah.
and-
Look at the NBA.
I was like, did they have like 75th anniversary on the jersey patch? And they didn't. It just says Edmonton Elks Football Club. I think there's like a 1949 in there. So it can be used for more than 1 year, which is great. I think Dahmer helped to design that, and he did a good job.
It was Dahmer and JMO. I think JMO was part of
JMO
that
was in
too.
on
I
that
think
too.
He was
He's
part of
a
that.
lot of
been able
big
to
brain
design a
power
few
there.
jerseys,
They brought
yeah.
Dave in for that 75th to work on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And he was the right historian to bring in with something like that. Somebody did ask, what game is Dusty calling this week? He'll be on the Montreal game tomorrow night. I won't say who he's with. I told you off the air. Yeah. There we go. I'll explain it to you later.
Okay.
Oh, whoa.
All right.
Tommy's got stamps and tie cats. How you feeling about Riders Red Blacks? Because this is an interesting matchup for me. both teams, I think there's a lot of expectations going into this season with both teams, with the Riders potentially going to go win the West. I think there's a lot of people think that they'll compete with Winnipeg with how close they were. And then with Ottawa, I think people, look, when we were doing our junior draft this week, we were discussing, there's outside, like I don't, not from us necessarily, there's a lot of expectations Drew Brown's going to be in the next big thing. They bring in Geno Lewis. They bring in William Stanback. People are expecting the Red Blacks to take a step forward.
As we all know in sports, in-market and out-of-market opinions are two wildly different things. And then as they should, you know a little more. I think tonight specifically, Ottawa brought people in an offense. They've redone their secondary. I mean, Pickett is back, but I think they've got a lot of fresh faces there. So we all know the Riders' defense. That's kind of returning as is with a few new faces, improved faces, I would argue, on the D-line. So tonight I would see... And you mentioned Drew. People are really high on Drew Brown. I mean, whatever. Go out there and show yourself, I guess. But he's got the weaponry.
The only quarterback not taken in the junior,
which is odd. I mean, we Chad Kelly was selected for crying out loud. He's not even, But
didn't he just start throwing? Kelly?
Yeah, he'll play.
Sorry,
but
I drafted him, but I have Davis Alexander.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you know what you're doing.
I
here.
wanted. He's my. I'd say my
always
depth
have him.
quarterback.
You
I
always
want
have
a
him.
second one. I always have Chad Kelly.
He's a resident gold miner. He'll never buy a meal in Sacramento again.
Oh, wow. didn't lead us to that title last year, but he was part of
he's part of the team.
The rest of the team picked it up,
Sure.
picked up the slack for him.
His name gets put. But
they
Geno
have a
Lewis,
Fuddruckers in Sacramento, by the way. I've been to it.
really?
Do they?
Accompanied with a Rutgers? Or
Just Fuddruckers.
Just Fuds.
Sorry.
Geno Lewis, Hardy, Pimpleton is expected to be, because it's a Tommy Condell offense, and he's a speedster, and Condell loves those guys.
Condell just went there.
So I'm excited
about
to
that
see,
one.
and a good running back in Stanback. Like he's been around, he knows the deal. So I think tonight it's really the Riders D against that Ottawa O. And
Yeah.
that's your colossal matchup. Whereas on the other sides of the ball, the Riders have a lot of injuries on the O-line. 2 prized offseason acquisitions out. Brammer, who's the replacement, he's out. So they're going to have some fresh faces on the O-line.
But I'm never worried about their line with Trevor Harris because
He's got a quick release.
He's got a quick release.
And he's got to do that. But
And that's the thing that you could handle as long as he's reading
Yes.
well in the game.
But he is a
can get through
pocket
it.
passing, flamingo-legged quarterback.
He's not going to move.
Exactly, and that's what...
He can't hold on to the ball.
If you're going to have him at this age behind center, you've got to have a stout O-line that knows what they're doing and to protect. So, anyways, tonight, I see that Ottawa offense against a robust Saskatchewan D, and that's going to be something to watch. But maybe it's one on the other sides where we're not talking so much, and who makes hay there. So, it's a Thursday night game, though, in Regina, which is always a tough draw for people coming from all corners of the province. So we shall see. But is this the earliest start for a CFL regular season? I think I was reading somewhere in terms of like the first game kicking off on June, was it 5 today?
Today's
I think
the 5th, yeah.
It would have been
Whatever.
the same week last year.
They're moving the season up slowly.
Well, it would have been the same week last year, though.
Same week, but date.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
Slowly. They're people want it to be moved up, and they're doing it one day at a time, year by year.
why. But it will. How does it work? No, it'll always start about the same time.
It's the week, I know, but
No,
the
it's
date.
the thing
bye
is,
week
if they
thing,
extend,
3
if they
bye
add
weeks.
a 10th team, they
Yeah.
could go to 1 bye week,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the season gets cut down by like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, which would be
immediately. Like that's what they.
But I think in the
idea.
interest of 9, this has been the.
But yeah,
whatever.
I think it's just like this weekend because it was game 1 of the Cup final last year.
Yeah.
which was the start on the Saturday.
Yes.
At the
Oh,
Elks had their
God.
first game, and it was at the Thursday the season would have started anyway.
Yeah.
So this has been.
And summer
been this for a couple
CFL
years.
as opposed to fall, where the NFL gets in and Thursday night football gets moved from the CFL to more of a weekend affair. I do like the summer. You can get your Thursday, your Friday, your Saturday, and sometimes the Sunday. You can sometimes
Well,
get
the
a game
Sundays, they do that a lot throughout the summer, and I love it.
Yeah.
One, I do like the 5 o'clock Sunday game. It's a great way to end your weekend in the summer.
We all love a
for-
Sunday football. We do it in the NFL, and
One for CFL or CTV, and they announced today officially that the games will be simulcast. There's like 22 games simulcast on TSN and CTV. And last year they did it just on CTV and they weren't on TSN, and that didn't make sense.
That was
no.
weird.
Yeah.
But they're going to be on both. And to me, it's CTV, like, okay, you get to the fall and you do Sunday Night Football starting the week after Labor Day. So why not throughout the summer just continue that? And that's what they did starting last year, and they're doing that this year, which is, okay, Sunday nights, go to CTV and you're going to watch football.
And they
And for
experimented.
the first 2.5 months, it's CFL. And then for the remaining 4 months outside of Grey Cup Sunday, it's the NFL.
they had a holiday
Great.
Monday game too, did they not? The Argonauts
Yeah.
and somebody, and that
Yeah,
was
they did.
wildly successful. Like, in
Yes.
terms of just, hey, it's a dead day on the sports schedule. You're not watching the White Sox and the Athletics.
Yes.
Like, put it on.
And people
play
are
out of
used to
Sacramento,
watching
oddly
Sunday,
enough.
5 o'clock, Sunday Night Football. People are used to watching those games.
As Maddie
When-
said, it's a gold miners city. It's the Athletics are the secondary team.
Oh, we welcome the gold miners. Welcome the Athletics.
It'll always be a gold miners town.
But we also know that they're only there for a few years. It's a gold miners town. We're thankful that they're not using our facility.
So gracious.
where the
of you.
gold miners have won 4
You give away
titles.
tickets to the ball games at your games.
Yeah, you buy a
that's
ticket to the
promo.
gold miners
Yeah.
and you get a ticket to the Athletics.
Sure.
That's a great cross promotion.
That's we just want to help the Athletics do well.
Yeah.
In our gold
Very
miner
sporting.
town.
and
Yeah,
send
yeah.
them on their way in a couple years.
Yeah, I know that the Kings really are, like we hope well for the Kings as well, but
Oh, yeah, them.
we carry the city. We carry that.
The spirit,
The Queens.
lies in your heart. Yes.
Sacramento Queens.
But yeah, so it's I like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday throughout the summer, the weekend. It's
great.
In the summer. It is an awesome thing. And I understand why you don't play Thursday and Sundays in
Absolutely.
the fall then. NFL's there.
Don't be dumb.
Dominate Friday and Saturdays at that point.
Yep.
And the CFL has fine-tuned their schedule enough. And yeah, it stinks sometimes to have that be that team that hosts a Thursday.
Yeah, but everybody
You know-
takes a
But and then the flip side though is in the States, they don't care. I don't think there's a blank. Like I don't think teams are like, oh, we have to host Thursdays. Oh darn,
Well, everybody gets
it's football.
everybody
at
gets
least.
their one, you know. And I love people who are like, "Why would the team schedule a game on this night?" Well, it's not the team doing. Like, come on, give me a break.
By the way, Friday Night Football has gotten like repackaged.
Oh, has it ever?
They gave us a little sneak peek a few
I
weeks
saw it.
ago. You did?
Yeah, I won't-
What'd you think?
I started tearing up in a positive way.
It's
No.
good. It's
Yeah.
good. Like because you know the whole Friday Night Football
I
tonight.
love that drop.
But it was so like CFL 1990s.
Yeah,
and they kind of
retro only goes so long. Yeah.
And then they showed us the new package graphics and the sound and the music, and I'm like, ooh,
I love it.
this is
It's
good.
sharp.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
really
yeah.
sharp. So I'm excited for that, and Dusty gets to be on the call for the first one.
Which is an interesting game because the Argos are always a weird team to me. One, no Chad Kelly though, so Nick Arbuckle, the Grey Cup winning quarterback.
Great Cup
isn't
quarterback.
there.
Yeah.
They turn and burn. If you're old and expensive, they find young
In
and
the
cheap.
CFL, you have to move.
Yeah.
You can't.
One, John Murphy does it better than anyone else.
Oh, he can find players.
Like
he could find 5 CFL starters in this room, not including us. Like they're hidden under the
Good point. He'll
but
find them
it's
somewhere.
how soon until they start clicking.
Right.
And how and is this the year that they maybe don't find some?
Yeah.
It's a fact because they a lot of changes. 5 to 4 defenders at the very least.
Yeah.
Royce Meche, Robbie Smith, Jared Brinkman, Jake Stresna here in Edmonton. I don't think I'm missing another Argo. Plus Dimitri Maxey, the defensive line coaches here in Edmonton. They don't have this. They had 2 co-defensive coordinators last year. Neither are back this year, I think, which is weird to me.
New look.
So the defense, how long is that going to defense get going? Can that defense get back to what it was? But it's still John Murphy's
Kept
Toronto
McManus
Argonauts.
too, which was didn't
Yeah, and then
it's-
John Murphy. So that, but Montreal expecting better things. That's an interesting game because I think Montreal should roll with no Chad Kelly too.
Yeah.
But who knows with the Argos? You just never know.
Oh, interesting to see too Davis Alexander with the keys to the kingdom and how he operates in that role.
I talked
The
to
gold
Mosser.
miners are hoping good things.
I know you
yeah,
are,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
it's
I talked to Mosser about Davis Alexander during Boson Live. And he goes, he's a good quarterback. He knows what he's doing. He's like, I've had him in my system. It was his 3rd year last year.
he's a gamer. Everybody
Yeah,
gamer.
and he goes- he
I got the
knows
first
what he's
blush when he
doing.
came in when they were playing the Riders last year, and he came in and he lit it up.
Yeah.
like it's rarely do you see that. Like, when you see a guy come in like that, unprepped, like prepped. Obviously, he's there, but to be thrown into the mix and then to like very few, especially at that position, can go in and handle it, and he was.
He looks very good to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think there's a
He's got
star
legs.
there.
He's got an arm.
Yeah.
A gamer, man.
Like I think I said it last offseason or going into it that at the time if the Elks didn't sign Trey Ford, I would have been okay if they got Davis Alexander.
I would have taken
that
a
was the
swing
guy
on him.
that I would have went. If
Yeah.
that's the alternative, if Ed Hervey got hired or whatever and he came in and says we're not re-signing Trey Ford but we traded for Davis Alexander, I'd be like, okay, I could live with that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is the next thing, and you always kind of want to look around the bend, especially as you mentioned in the CFL. That's what you got to do. You got to keep looking.
And just a solid stable of quarterbacks right now in this league, I think.
Yeah,
And even if you look at the backups, I think there's solid 2 tandems in most cities. Nathan Rourke, Jeremiah Mazzoli. I think Mazzoli's a great backup. VA not sold yet on PJ Walker, so we don't know
comes
him.
with a pedigree.
But
I guess
VA is there. Trey and Cody. Harris and Mayer. Mayer as the backup to Bo was the best Jake Mayer we've seen.
Well, and Mayer fits the system too of.
And so
It's
I
tough
like
to plug a Shea Patterson who's
Yeah.
a running guy into a system where you're.
and
around a
Trevor
pocket
Harris is going to
quarterback.
get hurt at some point this season for a couple games.
I
think
love
Jake
how we
Mayer
just all
fits in.
accept that.
Well, he's turning 40 here.
Yeah.
and again he's not mobile.
Yeah.
and so
True.
it just always flamingo legs
I
is what
like
they call it. It's
Jake
just,
Mayer though stepping in. Zach Collaros, Chris Strebler just works for that team.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like him anywhere else.
I don't think he's getting paid even.
But
he just volunteers his time and he's like, I'll do whatever you want.
Bowen, Taylor Powell. You got Chad Kelly, Nick Arbuckle, and even though I'm not a Nick Arbuckle long term, he won the Grey Cup last year.
He's serviceable.
It's Drew Brown and it's Davis Alexander. Alexander has MBT as his backup.
Yep.
Drew Brown has Dustin Crum as his backup.
Yep.
Like it's a good stable that we see I think,
Absolutely.
across the
And
Canadian
we've seen it
football league.
in the unfortunately in the CFL, 9 teams. In the NFL, you can have half of your league's quarterbacks go down and still have a half of league to pay attention to.
Yeah.
One quarterback or two go down in the CFL, and we're pulling the alarm because, oh my God, it's... But in this day and
happened
age, you
last
got
year?
good backups.
So Cody got hurt. Chad Kelly ultimately got hurt at the end, but during the season he was suspended.
Yep.
Bo didn't get hurt, but Taylor Powell got hurt.
Cameron Dukes got hurt. That's why Arbuckle went in.
Yeah.
Cameron Dukes got hurt.
Yeah.
Who's now
Collaros
without a
got
team,
hurt.
Dukes
Did he
got
not? I
released.
think Collaros missed a game or two during the season.
Yes.
Or he missed at least he got pulled within a couple of games because he
That's
got
something
hurt.
like that, yeah.
Harris got hurt.
Yeah.
Trey got hurt. I don't even know what happened in Calgary. Mayer got hurt, or did he just get benched?
I think that he may have got...
Remember Labor Day?
Bench.
Who did they bring in? Was
VA
it
got
Bonner?
hurt. There was a lot of injuries with quarterbacks
Yeah.
last year.
Logan Bonner came in for that one game.
Yeah, and now I think he was a cut too.
Yeah. It's like, what are you guys doing?
But Tommy Stevens also in the Rough Rider quarterback room.
Yeah.
Did Siemens not get cut?
No, he's on there.
Because he's their...
They got
Who did they cut?
Stevens.
Oh, Logan Bonner's who they cut. They cut
Yeah.
Yeah,
Logan
Stevens is around, and Jack Cohn, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and they're really high on him too. So
I'm just it's gonna be a fun season. I think the parity is as close as can be again.
hot days, a couple drinks, and watching Canadian football. Man,
And go get a glizzy from
some
Joaquin.
barbecue and yeah, he was good preseason cooking. But you say he's in already in midseason. He's in Labor Day form.
I had what I had from him was 2 pieces of garlic toast with some grilled chicken
Yeah.
and some sauce and cheese. And I was like, this is phenomenal.
The dogs, he's known for the dogs,
Yeah.
but that sandwich, that's where it's at.
I got the smoky, and then a couple dogs for Kayla and her friend.
the
So
smoky.
it was
I like the smoke.
it was a nice
Smoky
little
over hot
addition.
dog
yeah,
any day, any
but
day.
you see Joaquin, he'll take care of you.
By the way, bye week next week for the Elks. This is a great schedule for the Elks. Not a home game right now. Bye week next week. They start the 19th at home.
We
So with
winced thinking about the Cup final and how it would be scheduled.
for
but
the Elks. Yeah,
Oh, I'm wincing right now.
Well,
Well,
I asked Dahmer of the Elks. I said, "Hey, did you guys ask for this bye week?" He said, "No." And and they're like, "But like it's worked out really nice for them." I thought maybe they would specifically been like, "Can we get an early bye week?" Because if the Oilers did go on another run,
Unintentionally
we can get
smart
it.
by everyone involved.
Next Wednesday, scheduled right now, tentatively in pencil, Royce Metier and another Elk expected to be on the Hangout.
Excellent.
Sweet.
So, yeah, we should have a couple of Elks on the show next week.
Keep
as
it
their bye
Canadian.
week.
Get another Canadian too.
Well, yeah, I was talking to him on Monday because initially Michael Curry from the Elks was like, "Hey, do you want somebody on the bye week?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely." And he's like, "Royce is still going to be in town," so we were talking to him on Monday, and he's like, "Who could I bring?" And we're like, well, I don't care.
Bring them all.
I would bring whoever you can." Like,
We also
so
need
I think
Kavis Reed
there's a
on one
couple
of our
them.
shows. I mean, however we make
What's
it
he
work.
doing? Because he's not with the Wildcats.
He's
or
just
Huskies
having
anymore, is
fun.
he?
No, he's just man about town. Like
He was at
He would fit in so well.
He was.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking like I should get Kavis on.
like I don't. We always talk about, it, but we never reach actually.
JMO, we need you.
Yeah, like,
Great, just to sit and talk.
Yeah.
he loves it. He loves life. Like he's just a
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I got to remember that one. Remind me on that one.
yeah.
I got to hunt down.
And can
Hunt
we,
him down.
for the intro to the show when he's on, can we play the Whale and the Wolf version?
Oh, that
of
version.
No, they-
Kavis Reed Pump Up song. I actually prefer that one to the original.
more produced and polished.
It is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
polished. Your brother going berserk
Yeah.
in the background is hilarious to me.
Opposed to me doing the original where it's just
Well, I mean, you are a
dropping the over the track.
You are
It was
a
little
production wizard. I will give you credit for that, but like those
lowercase
guys put-
w.
Sure.
I do get excited about CFL season because I get to do a lot of lock shops throughout the summer on Thursdays.
Good. And Huss.
And and I get to do our CFL
I got to do a
best
lock
bets.
shop with him during the CFL season. It was great.
I have to go double check how many Dusty's going to miss. But Huss and I last year did a few CFL ones, and they were just great. I'm talking to Huss earlier this week, CFL. I will have Dan Ralph, Canadian Press, on with the lock shop later today. It's we'll talk Stanley Cup final, but we are going to look at the best bets for the CFL and look at the 4 matchups this weekend. But it's always a great way to start the weekend. I can't wait for tonight. Kick back, put my
neither
feet
can
up,
I.
watch Riders.
It
watch
starts
Red
when I
Blacks.
leave the hangout. If you know what I mean.
I know.
I got to look at my CFL fantasy roster.
Hey.
Yes.
See if I need to make any changes.
Get him
Actually,
in.
I do because I have Dalton Schoen on a bye.
Speaking of 6:00, what I know, Alley Cat posted that beer league group photo. Did they win?
Are they?
There was a beer league team, and they were all crushing 6:00 lagers. $12.99. Sobeys and Safeway liquor stores till the end of the playoffs. By the way,
I didn't see that.
yeah, I reposted
Like Alley
it
Cat
on-
has their own team, or
which-
it's a team that
No,
was drinking the.
They were crushing 6:00ers in the locker room. I assume they won, so I put like
Well, you always
champs
win.
on
You're
them.
always a winner.
you're having one of those. Yeah, exactly. But
Did you post it on Insta?
I put it on our Insta.
Oh yeah, I don't go on Insta.
I know.
I don't
Yeah,
do
'cause you
anything
get
Tag
on
in
hacked
lots
all
of
the
stuff
time.
and you never
I
even
don't
see
do
it.
anything on Insta.
I'm waiting for your next cryptocurrency.
Yeah, we're all waiting.
scam.
We're all
scam.
waiting.
Yeah, can't wait to find out about that.
Yeah, I've privated account, and it seems to work. It kept going. Past
You have a
that.
burner?
I can't.
An
No,
Instagram, no, but you have a different one? Or?
no. I just privated the account.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like so,
I thought you have to start another one.
because I kept after that. It like every 2 weeks later, it'd be like your account got locked, and I'd have to enter this appeal and then unlock it.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I just privatized it, and I haven't had an issue with it since.
Yeah, you and Meta. It was a direct line.
I still have that verification.
Yeah.
Because anytime I cancel, like we'll give you another 3 months free. And I was like, okay, and then I wait, and then I can cancel, and they keep giving me
boy.
more. I'm taking advantage of that one.
As you should.
This is the EST Hangout live on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Let's get to over/under for Play Alberta. Promo codes for the month of June: EST Casino when you deposit 20 or more for a $50 casino bonus, or EST Sports when you deposit 20 or more for a $50 free bet on sports. Keep it locked, Edmonton Sport or the Play Alberta. Click on EST Specials on Play Alberta or PlayAlberta. When you download their app at PlayAlberta.ca, there will be there's a heads up. There's already a lock shop parlay thrown up there. We will have Jay's play of the day, and the grandest parlay will go up there. Here's the over under I'm going to set: 1.5 over under wins by the Edmonton teams over the course of this weekend. I count Friday on the weekend. Oilers Elks, they play over under 1.5. Elks are 5.5 point underdogs going to BC. Oilers, I'm assuming, are the favorites for tomorrow against the Panthers.
Week one's always a tough one, but also in week one, sometimes you like the dog, like really, and especially on the road. I think Snoop's there. It'll be it's a big night for the Lions organization.
Yeah,
They're
it's a
the
sellout,
place is
isn't it?
gonna be packed. It's a new look for them. I mean, I hope Rourke does well selfishly for the Birmingham Barracudas. Hashtag Cuda Nation. But how do they look? How the pressure's up? We were talking about Benavides. I don't really rate him too much as a coordinator anymore. I mean, probably a nice guy, but Buck Pierce, Nathan Rourke, weapons on offense. I don't know what that defense is going to look like, but I think the Elks have an opportunity to just slide right in there like a stealth bomber type of thing and maybe take advantage of some things. I don't know. But the pressure, there should be no pressure on the Elks this weekend at all, really. Not in BC on a Saturday night at 8 when you're a new look team.
You can't get blown out.
No, I
That's
get
the
that.
pressure.
Yeah, but that's...
But a loss isn't bad.
But they're
Like,
playing
it
a little
depends.
more, how should I phrase this? Loose? Not playing loose, but... again, when you're the home and Rourke now, the expectation is high.
Well-
There's nobody pushing him. He's the guy. New coach, 50,000 Snoops there. The Elks just have to go in there and just play
with
the
house
game.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think there's
to your point on that. Like if the Lions lose, there'll be immediate questions of, okay, is Rourke ever going to find it? Like especially if he doesn't play well.
Oh yeah. Expectations are
will.
through the roof.
He will.
Is Rourke that, or is it Rourke just actually he just had one good season that no one and
We
then
don't know
he went
yet.
off to the NFL and he's not going to be that again.
Yeah.
You know, the one concern I would maybe have with Rourke is with knowing that the NFL isn't there anymore. Does that when you're playing when the hunger to get
the drive
to the NFL,
yeah.
Does that now? I'm expecting him to be good still.
Yeah.
Like, I would take
he's
him as my
talented.
MOP
Yeah,
favorite right now over Chad Kelly.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those I do like that. There's that pressure. If they lose, that fan base sits there and goes, like, did we get rid of the wrong?
What have we married ourselves
did
to?
we lose ourselves VA?
And
for this?
every organization that's kind of moved on from VA or let him move on, I think can say that. Like he's good wherever he goes, and he's always had a chip on his shoulder that's grown bigger and bigger and bigger from organizations being like, oh, we got another guy, or oh, we don't, and so that keeps growing. And,
He's bounced around so much.
yeah.
And with the Snoop 50,000 all there, like you want that good win to carry it on in that city.
Yeah.
One thing I know through JAMA with the city of Vancouver is if you're not good, they'll cheer for the team that is good. They just bounce around.
Sure.
And the Whitecaps have a very good team right now.
Yeah.
Right, like so there is a team to quickly go jump to if there is that fickle fan that goes, well, you're not winning.
Yes.
I'm not going to go.
But from a
spend money
Lions
on you.
point of view, the door is open for you to walk right in.
Yes.
And really announce yourself and be that
because
team.
when Rourke was there, they sold a lot of Rourke.
When Casey
jerseys.
Printers was there, I remember going to the city during that time, and it's the talk of the town,
Right.
I mean, so you have an opportunity. Will they reach out and grab it?
Sorry, over under 1.5 wins though for Edmonton this weekend.
I'll go under. I think one of either the Oilers or Elks wins.
I'll take the over just to not make it boring radio.
Benny, I'm throwing you on there.
You got screwed over.
There we go.
Oh, look at you.
There
Mr.
we go.
Positive. Always so positive. You're a
Great.
homer.
Sorry to interrupt.
All I was going to say was if there was no Casey Printers in Kansas City, we're not talking about Patrick Mahomes becoming the GOAT.
That's an interesting timeline there.
We'll have to go
mean,
look at that. I'm
It's
intrigued by
like-
how that goes.
Yeah,
now.
it's like the Gretzky trade
Yeah,
timeline.
yeah.
Same thing. Same
How
thing.
did it mess with them? What did
Timing,
they draft?
opportunities, it's all-
Where did it mess their draft order and stuff like
Would
that?
Andy Reid have been there?
The whole thing,
Travis
yeah.
Kelce, all that stuff.
By the way, with Play Alberta, Dusty has sent in his early bird bet as well as play of the day. It's not up yet, but what he's asked for is the Red Blacks plus 3.5. So he's thinking the Red Blacks covering.
I could see that.
So they still lose, but they lose by 3.
A lot of people are picking Saskatchewan straight up, but also Ottawa to cover.
OKC minus 5.5 points. So he thinks OKC wins, but a closer one. I think the line as of yesterday was 9.5. And then his play of the day is Holmgren over 16.5 points. So keep it locked to Play Alberta EST specials for those from Dusty, as he's just sent those in right now. Yeah, I got to see what the line is.
They have
but
everything
it's
on that
9.5
site,
still.
hey? Like if you go down the list of
robust.
the sport, like you can really get into some.
You should see what the grandest parlay, the DG Gin sometimes works up.
Is there like Chinese table tennis in there?
Yeah, like backgammon.
Perfect.
Backgammon World Cup.
They'll go with like I think during the World Hockey Championship, there's one game they're like they went on the money line for the second period. Or something like that. Who's going to win the second period? What they create.
I want to go
is
down to
just wild.
shifts.
Ozone
time per shift. Over under.
I always look forward to seeing
45 seconds.
What those people, what they create. It is wonderful. So, Big Uke will text me at some point today, and I'll throw it the Play Alberta
cook
way and
something
see
up.
if they could throw it up there. So it is a lot of fun. CFL weekend tonight.
Hamburger helper, baby, on the
Is that
menu
what's on the
tonight.
menu?
Yeah. Well, the wife, she has
flavor?
I can't remember what the box is. It's some sort of cheesy Italian type. I think I have to add milk. Some of the recipes
splash.
you don't need milk. I
Yeah.
think this one requires milk,
You'll
which
be
is
just fine.
that'll be
You'll be
great.
just fine.
I will be at my parents' place because it's my mother's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So happy birthday to my mom. 65.
All right.
Grand age.
65
Yeah.
today. So gonna go over and celebrate. Did something on Sunday, but we'll go over today.
It'll be a cake, gift
Sunday.
opening. Oh, okay.
Sunday we did more of. We went over.
This is a casual.
This
type
is
of
now just
hangout,
come
yeah.
over for dinner.
Immediate
and see
family
her.
only, not the like.
No, it wasn't. It was just immediate family on Sunday too, with the
Not the
nieces and
extended,
stuff.
yeah.
And so, but then they brought gifts, and we made chicken kebabs and a pasta salad and some corn cobs. I made a nice little dinner or lunch on Sunday. Tonight's just go say hi, hang out, have dinner.
Time. Time
the
is the
time.
greatest gift of
Time.
all. Hey,
Absolutely.
don't even need to wrap it up. You can just.
You could try to.
Again.
Write that on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is the greatest gift of them all. What happened with Luke Gazdick today? I'm intrigued.
So, yeah, well,
Did
it's
he
not.
think he was the Mr. Guest? So he thought he was the Mr. Guest.
A lot of
Did he
people
think he was
did.
coming in studio?
No, so last night, and of course Stanley Cup final. Tom, you would know this too. You're going to medias. Everybody's on a different clock. You're on Eastern time now. You're on this and that and the other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so Luke Gazzola texted me last night. He goes, "Hey, I'm doing the panel post game. And it'll be a late night, and any chance I can move the hit?" I'm like, "You're telling me." Because I get it. But anyways, so he's down at the thing doing the thing, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, we can move." I said, "I'll do anything. We can move the. I don't really care about you. You can move. You can join us first segment, last segment, whatever." Sure. And I said, "Well, I have an 8:30 already. Got somebody coming in at 8:30, and that would be the latest time on the show, the 3-hour show." I said, "But I can get you in at 8." And he goes, "Okay." And so this morning we. At 8 o'clock, as we do, we're sitting there, and Dave's doing this. we're tap dancing.
Oh, you're doing the universal sign that Iwanyk always used.
That's when that came up.
Yeah.
So anyway, and we're fine. We can handle it. I mean, I could do a show. I could have a show with 6 guests and they all cancel. It's not whatever. What are you gonna do? Like you go on the Paris Jules inbox. But yeah. So and then Luke texts me. And he's like, and he was swearing. Like, he's pretty passionate. He's not a guy that just blows you off and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry." But he feels bad. He feels shame.
He's a good human.
And he goes, "Eric, man."
Oh, that's when you know it's serious.
Yeah. I thought I was 8:30. I effed this up. And I said, "Luke, man, not a worry." Well, because we're on a casual. And he goes, "Do you still have a guest then?" "God, I feel awful, man. Set my alarm for 8. And I said, "No, all good, man. There are a lot of mans here. I didn't even mean to do that. Didn't even mean to do that. We're just that's how good connection we have." I said, "This happens," and it does. This is a busy time for people.
Yes.
You're sleeping where you don't know. You're in the hotel that you don't want to be at.
Yep.
You're going all around and stuff. And
Figuring out
maybe a
time
few,
zones
as you say,
sometimes.
libation. I'm not saying Luke had a late night, but
he'll
he would have been
have
up. He would have been up.
beverage or
He was
two, yeah.
obviously up. So he just set his alarm. So yeah, he that's long story long. That's kind of what happened there. So and then he
I
said,
got to bring him a glue crew hurdy tomorrow.
but this is what he said too. "Gonna do Reed's show later today, and I will come back on your guys next Thursday pro bono."
Nice. That's what a good man does.
Offering up So I said, all good. Enjoy tonight or tomorrow.
Wyszynski was hilarious. He's fantastic.
The best thing, I knew him as the mystery guest. People are like, "Oh, it's got to be Gene," or it's probably like the
Gene's a busy boy.
everybody. But everybody's thinking it's like
Oh yeah.
because some people don't like Greg's American demeanor and some of his takes.
Well,
so I was like,
it
they're
is
gonna love
refreshing.
you, like back to back days,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we had him on there. His back was to the camera. You saw the Marco Sturm general manager announcement today. We had a little fun with
Right.
that. And that's how he introduced Greg. And but I know you guys are talking to Trev. He's swole. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot to him. I never thought because you only see the upper quarter when we do our hits.
I
But,
met him like 15 years ago. The
Puck Daddy.
in Jersey. Yeah. Puck
Daddy. He's super about that.
He's super. He's like, "Hey, watch your thing," and I was like, "Thanks, man."
well, he gets
Because that's how I knew him. Puck
he
Daddy.
gets this. Like this is his jungle. So he was loving it. He said, "I didn't expect all of this to be as big as it was."
Yeah.
And we didn't expect him as to be as big as he was. Like,
Him
it was-
and I had a good chat the other day at the media day. And we were kind of catching up, and he was asking how everything was. He's like, "I like going on with those guys. It's fun." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's awesome." And then so when I saw him in studio with you, I was like, "Perfect. Now he can understand what it is."
It's nice to kind of
Yeah.
get the feel of the So he got that hat. He chose the green and
like
gold
the
one
green and gold
out of all the options. Yeah. That's
It makes me happy.
Well,
I just love that the media hotel is here.
That's wild.
It's
Like, at the
hilarious.
weather- and I just imagine the bus ride into downtown from here. Construction
He took a
everywhere and
shuttle.
all that.
Or no, he could have taken a shuttle. They have an option. But I wanted Zach. We should have gotten a golf cart, and Zach could shuttle them to and fro our studio just all day
Actually, I
long.
mean, hey, if Greg wants to drive to the rink, Tommy or I could go bring him,
Sure.
bring him on
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
No problem. But
We can make some cash with the media people. You want to get back without the shuttle? We'll take it.
some quick bucks.
Yeah.
But it was funny. There's the jokes in the press box yesterday. People are like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and hang out at the
battery place or whatever. I'm like, yeah, well, there's a restaurant there. There's
Well, that's
you go to
strip
West
mall.
Hampton Mall.
As I
There's
told
some
Greg,
really nice
weed,
restaurants.
weed
Great
shop,
spots.
massage parlor.
Yeah.
Oh, for that one.
The counter, the knockoff Lego store.
Yes.
What do they
Brick
call them?
thing.
Bricks, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Rockin' Robin's for the breakfast.
Well, Rock and Robin's supposed to have great breakfast. I still need to get there.
But it
It is
ends
really
at 9.
good.
It's 7 to 9.
But
That's-
you get to you go to Mayfield, like you got
That's what I have to
Joey's
tell 'em
right
about.
there.
Yeah. So they've been going to Joey.
There's Earl's right
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
And the
There's some
Mayfield
actually
Dinner Theater, they got Jersey Boys showing for the next couple of days.
perfect.
Greg, that's
Right up Greg's
his-
alley.
He's the Jersey boy.
We should have offered them some kind of package with
Free
the Banya
tickets.
crew
Yeah,
downstairs.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
He asked about it.
Did he actually?
Oh yeah. How could you not? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is
The
a
Dorofeev
curious
special.
mind. Yeah, the Dorofeev. Hi, I'm Greg. I know Pavel Dorofeev. Oh, Mr. Greg, right
Come this way.
Yeah, I saw the guys downstairs from the Banya. I said, good morning, guys. Like, good morning.
It's great.
like,
They're
yes.
great neighbors.
I love seeing Victor.
Yeah. It's
It
not
was
a
the
lot,
two
but
other
it's,
guys I saw.
I don't know their names though.
Me
That's the
neither,
thing.
and I'm okay with it.
Whenever
Yeah.
Victor, like it's very rare, but opens the door and comes here, it's great. Like, hey, Victor's here.
He's crushing a dart.
yeah.
Dusty's plays are now up. The early bird bet plus 166, which is Red Blacks plus 3.5, OKC minus 5.5, and Holmgren 17 plus points minus 122 at Play Alberta. The official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink, legend of 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. It's where you can enter your postcode. That went right under your chair. Enter your postcode and find a liquor store and establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock. You can also head to Rogers Place tomorrow if you're there and pick up the long drink, as they have that partnership with OEG. Just a few more minutes left here on the Hangout. We also have the Canadian Open underway.
Yes.
Ah,
I'm gonna have to stay. There was big weather
Overdrive
yesterday.
had to cancel their show.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw
whole
due
show?
to inclement weather, the show is done. They
I
said.
had to go watch it to see like what happened. I guess like it was like the course they were doing the show, and it was on YouTube. So like you click on and you could just see the darker clouds get darker and darker and darker. Like it was clear, and it was just little darker,
Time
darker.
lapse.
And then by the end, it was like really dark. You're like, oh, that is some bad stuff.
Get off.
And then some producer or something just thought like you guys, the Hayes, they just use this like, yeah, we got to get off the air. I'm being told we have to get off the air. Like I think the course like you guys got to leave.
wow.
And they're mid show and they're just like,
You're out.
Show's done.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So which I don't know what would have happened like of who you quickly jump on.
Did the
air back
alarm
to
go off?
studio
Like
and
the
something.
the course or
Air
the-
horn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Four-way tie atop the leaderboard, including Canadian Pendrith at 5 under. Fellow Canadian Nick Taylor, he's a shot back. So Pendrith is playing very well, and Nick Taylor is the former winner. I need Nick Taylor to beat Pendrith though.
At least if they can stay in contention throughout the better part of the weekend is something to keep an eye on. You know, that's nice to kind of have on
Stay in the top,
low volume and
yeah.
just
Stay in with the leaderboard. Stay up there and go into Sunday in contention.
Give us
and
a
let's
shot.
see what happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening on Sunday in the CFL. There's no
Exactly.
Oilers. There's no Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
So it'd be a great Sunday viewing.
no racing either. Canadian
racing.
Grand Prix
Ah,
next
that's
weekend.
right.
no
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah. Oh.
Because Canada plays tomorrow
Yeah.
or Saturday. I mean,
Who?
Canada Ukraine. It's
Really?
the
Oh.
Canadian Shield. It's called
Yes.
Canadian Shield.
Nations League in
Tickets are expensive.
yeah. Well,
Voyagers is $100.
Where's this at?
Toronto BMO.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Now it is a two. You get 2 games for it, I guess. Huss is maybe going to go because they're at the RBC Canadian Open. He was thinking about going.
oh
to
yeah,
this.
he's got to.
has to.
He likes to double his fun. Hey, like kind of.
He has
You're
a
there
lot
for
of
an event
fun.
and then he goes to another. Like you know.
I was on with
Might
him
as well.
earlier this week. I love when it goes to commercial. He's hitting that diet. Was it Diet Pepsi?
Yeah.
And,
In between vapes.
and that pen.
Oh, he's
and
just-
he comes back and says,
yeah. No exhaling.
yeah. I'm like, Huss.
I'm joining Remus today.
Oh,
no
good
way.
for you.
Filling it. Yeah, we'll talk some Oilers and some CFL.
Yeah.
It's just I'm always happy in game to talk some CFL.
I'm on with Lachlan and Jamie Nye.
I love doing that
the
with
Greens.
I love
The Greens.
talking
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Locke.
yeah.
Those are good dudes.
Jamie
Jamie's
Nye, the
great,
sports guy.
but
yeah.
Yes, it's very much
Yeah.
so.
Locke and I used to do a Bear sports hit on the Bear with Locke, Warren Barris. Was James ever part of it? I don't think James was part of it. And it was fun. I'd step
No
in.
comment.
No, I know. I always enjoyed doing that sports hit because I would do it if Gregor couldn't do it. And then they had and then they also had the sports donkey if no one could do it.
Right,
They just
yeah.
had a donkey that they'd play things.
An
It's
ass.
great. I talked to Locke about that when he went to the sports cage, and I talked with him for the first time. It's different though, him being full sports guy and not rock
Spinning
genre
the,
guy.
spinning the GNR.
Yeah, it's
I find him very pleasant.
Yeah, it's just the different experience.
Yeah.
But I love going on with those two boys.
Yeah, it's a good show. They have a good show. It's good programming right there.
It's been a while since I was asked. I did the what's the other one there? Sports Cage.
Sports Cage on
Yeah.
CKRM, Green Zone on CJME. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I go on the Sports Cage sometimes. I've never been invited on the Green Zone. I'm not a. I'm a 620
You're
guy.
also alum of the Rod Peterson show.
I am.
I was never alum on the Rod
Oh boy,
Peterson
we're getting. Yeah. No, but the guy that does Sports Cage now, Barney Shankaruk, and his sometimes co-host Chris Harris, who's now a cop. I used to watch them on Sportsline. On what was global and whatever, and that's where Jay Onright was for a
Yes.
time in Saskatoon.
Right.
And they
He
had a
was here
great
too.
sports variety show late night.
Sports Night was
Shankaruk and Harris
excellent.
were amazing.
They had Sports Night here. It was Carius. It was Dean Millard
Yeah,
at the
Carius
end.
was in Saskatchewan for a bit too, doing
Wow,
that
he's
stuff. And,
Saskatchewan.
yeah.
Perry Salkowski, Dutchy.
But they were like the Daily Show, but for sports, late night. Like you'd tune in,
Yeah.
they'd be joking
Would
around.
they be at a Boston Pizza in the lounge?
That type of thing. It was
Yeah.
like the Score.
Yeah.
When you'd watch the late
Yeah,
night
yeah,
loop.
Talk about the score. Friedman with McAuliffe, I think last week, and I was
Tim.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
Blast from the past. That's like headline sports before it became the score.
Oh, headline sports.
Sports,
Yes.
yeah.
I forgot that it was called that one.
Yeah.
If you've listened to EST, you would know half of this. The Rogers Festival at the final announced Glorious Sons at the fan park, and they'll be joined by Triumph.
Who called it?
Ah, well.
Thank you.
Why Triumph?
There's
Is there
a
a
big
tie-in?
W.
Is there a tie-in here? Oh, that's them, eh? Okay, yeah.
That'll happen tomorrow.
I miss Shania.
That was great.
Bring her back.
Bring her back.
was
She was
great.
lovely.
It was great.
Queen of the North.
Performance will begin at 3:40 tomorrow.
How was Arkell's yesterday? Does anyone have a review?
No. Well, I don't
A few
have.
people
I
in the
like
Nasty
Arkells.
Chat, I think, this morning said they took it in, but I
I
don't
really
know.
enjoy Arkell's.
Ticats fans. Right?
Well,
a lot of them.
The
Yeah,
name
they're-
Arkell's comes from the street in Hamilton that they grew up on.
Is that the what? Yeah.
Yeah, they did a song about the Ticats like in their early years.
I feel like they're slowly becoming like the new Tragically Hip.
They're
In a sense.
Canada's house band.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Replace-
should
like they're-
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they're not. It doesn't seem like they're getting big around the world, but you'll see them at this show
Yeah,
where they're
cabarets.
Canada's
Yeah.
house band. Like
Well,
yeah.
Tragically Hip was Canada's.
They
house
have a
band now.
following in the U.S. I think they did a European tour a few years ago, but I enjoy them. They did a whole album of like, it's called the Disco Loadout, like catchy remakes of like dance songs, some newer ones. They did like that Harry Styles song, As It Was. They did the Robin song. What's the big Robin song?
Robin's Donuts?
No, I have it on my phone.
By the way, Hydro, need more LTE on EST. Great chat today.
Smitty the Welder says, no pressure for the Elks. Are you serious? The media thinks they should be given the Grey Cup already. I'm just saying in the game.
For one game.
No, the pressure, the BCs, this is their coming out party here. This is the Elks. It's week one. They just go in there.
Pressure starts if they start 0-2 or
As you
0-3.
said, you don't want to be smoked, but you know, if indeed that happens, sure, then it. But going
No one's
into that
giving them
game,
the
I don't
Grey
think
Cup.
there's pressure.
I stand by. I think it's Saskatchewan's division. I think Winnipeg and I think Edmonton's third.
We talked about our draft too. You're missing the playoffs this year with how many wins, right? Like it's not going to be. It's going to be tight. Both divisions.
And then who knows what happens when you get. I'll never predict the Grey Cup champ at the start because you get to the playoffs and just who knows what happens.
Did put money on Edmonton.
That's okay.
Yeah, well,
Hey, it's
Jay,
good
Jay got
value.
me very excited.
You still have your
one.
game sense about you, though.
I
right?
always
yes,
use game
exactly.
sense. Thank you.
That's going to be it for the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel
Already?
Storage. Thank you, LT.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Trev. Thank you, Benny. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you
you.
to you, the listener, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Lock Shop coming up in a few minutes. We've got two guys and a goalie. EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show, Turf District, Oilers Live, all still to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk. When it comes to Turf District and Oilers Live, that will be on our audio streams. EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Thank you for tuning in once again here. This is EST, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. On behalf of Tommy, Eric, Trev, Benny, I am Matt. I'm coming up with the Lock Shop in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Talk with you soon.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, long time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today